right there, and if people were able to read lips, they got it all. So, again, welcome to the Luke Fruia Show. It's Meet Brownsville edition. I'm visiting with the head coach of the Hannah Eagles, Mark Guess. I'm not going to make you answer every question all over again, but for those that were missing with the audio, let's again, the outlook for the Hannah Eagles, plenty of returners. You guys have been battling the heat, but you're ready to roll.
Ready to roll.
And let's talk about what the first scrimmage entails and, what you're expecting from your players from now till that scrimmage and what you're hoping to see in that first scrimmage from the Hannah Eagles.
Well, we've got a lot installed during the summertime with the hour per day that we were able to get, based on UIL rules. So we had a lot of install that was already done. Now it's just cleaning it up and getting it done on the field, wearing the helmets, wearing the shoulder pads, and then once we get to the full pad stuff, executing the things that they were taught.
Mark Guess is a head coach, been around long enough that you – a lot of coaches go into that first scrimmage saying, I just want to hear the pads crack a couple of times, see how some kids react, and then see how some plays develop. Your mentality, as far as from a coach, what you want to look at?
Well, we're constantly evaluating every day. We're looking at kids in practice, and then, of course, once they get under the lights and start that scrimmage against another opponent, that's when we really can tell what they've got in them and what they've learned. So, we just want to see them get through that scrimmage, executing what we've taught them to execute, and then also come out of it healthy.
I know better than to ask any coach, hey, circle a game and tell me what's the biggest game on the schedule, because they're going to tell me the next one. But let's look at your schedule and talk to me about top to bottom and what styles you're going to see, what the district looks like, and how that Hannah schedule sculpts out.
Well, non-district, we have a really good, tough schedule, I think. We start off with McCallum Memorial, who's always a tough team to play. Then we have Sherryland, who's they've won district several times the last several years, and then we jump in with Harlingen South, who's also been making some noise in that 5A. Then we have PSJA, who throws the ball all over the place, and then we finish up with Mission Veterans. So they were all playoff teams a year ago, and then this past year. I think all but one of them might have made it in. So, it's a tough non-district schedule, but it certainly gets us ready for the buzzsaw that is 32-6A. There's no easy opponents in 32-6A. You're going to have to fight every week. You've got to not only fight, but you've got to hope you come out of those things healthy, because it's a physical football game against any of those four other opponents that we have to play.
Yeah, you're talking about teams that many say, well, let's just protect our home field. There's too many of them; it's spread too far apart. You could go home field undefeated and still be 500 in the district, and that's not good enough.
Exactly. And every once in a while you deal with a short week playing on Thursday, or with Brownsville, we share that stadium, so. You deal with short weeks, you deal with long weeks, and this year, fortunately, we don't have any Saturday games, but we do have a Thursday game during district, and, we just want to make sure that we get the kids ready, we prepare them, not only physically but mentally for the grind that is, 32-6A football.
And that non-district schedule gets you ready for it.
It should get us ready.
Final question, Coach. What do we expect from the Hannah Eagles? Is this going to be one of those years when we see it all spread out all over the place on the offense? Are we going to be a tighter team in general? What's it look like on paper, at least at the onset?
Well, we've changed some things schematically on both sides of the ball to accommodate the players that we have. So, we could be in 1 week in a grinded-out situation running the football. And then, the next week we may have to throw the ball. We're going to go with what we're given and take what we're given and make sure that we go out there and earn it night in and night out.
Final question, point one, would be still spots being earned out there on your football team as far as these players that are practicing?
Absolutely. They know every day that their job's on the line, and that they're always one practice away from getting number 2 reps versus number 1 reps. So we're going to keep that up, because that's what builds that good competition in practice.
Well, I promised Mark Guess he would be out of here early because he's got to get those players ready for practice. He's got one of his players here. Mark, always good visiting, and thanks for joining us on the show.
My pleasure, Joe. Appreciate it.
Mark Guess, Hannah Eagles, back with more after this.
Sunny days or starry nights. Lay back or splash down. Brunch, lunch, or late night munch. That's as hard as it gets at South Padre Island. Voted Texas Travel Awards Destination of the Year. Plan your escape at sopadre.com.
Back here at the Luke Fruia Show in Brownsville, Texas. Luke Fruia Motors. If you're out driving around in the Brownsville area, watching this on your handheld device, or any of the people watching at home here in Brownsville, come on over and join us here and catch a glimpse of some of these players and coaches that are with us. Right now, joining us is Ethan Cupion with the Hannah Eagles. I know you got a practice coming up, so we're going to get you in and out quick. Junior, talk to me about what the expectations are for you on the season.
My expectations for the season is I'm hoping to go to the playoffs with my team this season, because I know last season didn't go as we planned. But this season I see my team going to the playoffs, hopefully winning a gold ball this year. And I just really want to let my team know that I'm ready for whatever comes our way, and that we got to work as a team, and we will work as a team.
Talk to me about a lot of players can script this out from day one. From the last game last season when you put the pads away to today. Tell me about what the summer was like, what the conditioning was like, and what you guys did as a team to get ready for when you know coach is going to run you through some practices.
Yes, sir. Well, summer, man, it was hot. It was humid, but I can't complain. I'm getting better every day, every time I go. But the practices have been very, very good that I've gone to, and we're learning a lot more. We're putting a lot in our minds. We're getting more stronger, more physical as of right now. But my team should be ready. The team should be ready for the season that's coming up with all the practices, because we got the coaching staff that's very, very intelligent, that's helping us get ready for the season that's coming up.
As a junior coming in, now you're no longer the new guy. You know what it's all about. Tell me how much different that is getting ready for a season when you've seen it before, you know what to expect.
Well, getting ready for the season, I know what's coming up. I know what how physical it's going to get this season. Because when I first came into Hannah, I didn't expect, man, the hard work that we put in, the physicality, and the discipline that we're gonna get. But now that I'm getting ready for my junior season, I know what's coming. I'm ready for whatever comes my way, and for the hits I'm gonna get.
Coming off the end on the defensive side, if I ask the question, who's capable of carrying this team first? Is it the defense or the offense? Tell me how the defense is ready to help carry this team if that needs to be the case.
Well, the defense, I see our defense being very strong, very physical this season. As of last season, we were always on the field. I'm not going to lie, we were always on the field. We were very physical last season. We had a great defense last season also, but this season we got some new players, some new juniors, freshmen coming up into our varsity level, and I see them getting stronger, more intelligent on our plays. But I see our defense getting more plays into the games, but our offense is also key, which I see that we're getting better. We're getting better on offense, I'm not gonna lie, because last season didn't go as planned, like I said. But this year, our offense is more smart, I guess.
More smart and ready to roll. All right. Well, a final question would be, you're now a junior. This is your junior season. So if you wrote it down, I would tell you, hey, without playoff games, you've only got 20 football games left as a high school player. So how important is this next game for you, the first one of the season?
Man, it's very important as a junior, because ever since I got here, the 2 seasons that I've had, I didn't really like them, but this season I feel like we're gonna do very good. But my first game, it's very important to me, because it's not just important to me, but to our fans out there, to our team. But I'm hoping that we win, and I know that we should win this game, because we are mentally prepared, physically prepared, and we should win this game.
Sounds good. That's Ethan Cupion. He's the defensive end on the Hannah Eagles. Thanks for joining us here on our Luke Fruia Show. We'll be back with more after this.
Padrinos and tell them thank you for the salon, the tamales, the dress, el DJ.
Ay, Ama, you called them. I didn't even want a quinceañera in the first place. I would have preferred to have gone to Paris instead.
I will, fine. I'm gonna give you your surprise gift early.
Huh?
Guess what? You're going to Paris.
How?
Well, I've been saving mucho dinero all year in insurance thanks to Pronto Insurance.
Let's just skip the quinceañera and go straight to Paris.
Call your padrinos right now.
Okay, yeah.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
We are back here at Luke Fruia Motors in Brownsville, Texas. It's a little talking sports here on a Wednesday. Our traditional show at 2 o'clock on Wednesdays throughout the year happens right here in this facility. And we want to always encourage people to come out, home of Buick, GMC, and Cadillac. And we want to always invite fans to come out here to the Luke Fruia Show and join us. We went from volleyball or from football to volleyball, and now we're going to talk a little Rivera volleyball with Coach Garrett. First of all, good to see you again. I didn't get to see you during the Donna Leagues this year, but, how ready is Rivera this year?
Well, the girls have been working hard all summer long, so there's a few tweaks that I need to do with them and we need to work on, but they're working hard, and I think they're ready. They're ready to go.
Coach, it's part of high school athletics in which there is going to be that transition from one era to another. Yes. You're coming off of that era in which you were rock solid at a couple of positions, including that libero. Yeah. And so talk about the transition and how important it was on what you watched your girls develop during the summer.
Well, it's going to be tough because those two that are missing, which is Emily and my daughter Rochelle, the libero, they were phenomenal and covered a lot of area and great leaders. But I think the girls that played with them learned from them, and they're stepping up, and they're ready to take that job. There's a lot of girls working to take that spot as libero, and there's about 3 or 4 of them that I'm looking at, so they're fighting hard for that spot. So that competition only makes them better. I know during the summer leagues it's always tempting for coaches. You want to get out there and do some coaching and this, but in this case, I feel that most likely you were one of those coaches that was more energetic in watching your players in the summer development than perhaps in the past few years especially. Oh, yeah. In the summer, I like to watch so I can see I need to work on this, I need to work on that. This girl needs to work a little faster so that when the season starts, I kind of have an idea, okay, this is what we need to work on because this is what I saw in the summer. And so that helps me prepare them. Football season started the same time volleyball did as far as practices go, but they have a little extra time before they jump into scrimmages. Not the case for volleyball. You guys are into scrimmages as early as the next couple of days. Friday. We start playing on Fridays. We have a scrimmage, a tri-match in Donna, and then we have an alumni game on Saturday, but it'll be at Garcia because they're having the pep rally at the BIC pep rally in our gym, so we had to move us to Garcia. Talk to me about that game on Saturday. Who all comes back for that generally? Well, we've had years where we have 30 girls come back. And then we've had years where we had about 12 or 13. I think this year, a lot of the girls that are coming back are the younger ones, which is making me a little nervous because they're the ones that just graduated within the last 3 years. And they've been telling us, me and my husband, that they're ready to go, and I know they're in shape because they've still been playing. I see them playing beach volleyball and regular ball, so it's going to be a good competitive game. And then do you start the regular season next week? Yes. Next week we start the non-district games. Okay, so talk to me about the first couple of games in the first tournament. What's the path for Rivera? All right, the first game is against Edinburgh Economides, and those are some games we're going to also have to move to Garcia and Perkins because of the pep rally. But I think we're going to come out strong. I think we're ready for them, and it'll be good learning experience. And after that, we have the McAllen High School tournament where there's a lot of competition. And that's great for me. I like to play the tough teams because the tough teams, whether we win or lose, those are the ones that make us better. And those are the things where I can see who can and who can't hang. I can pick my best players. And what I like about the fact and the way you operate, in your summer you're playing in that Highway 83 juniors, which gives you a look at a whole range of teams. Meanwhile, that Venom League is going on over there, and they're fighting it out between the Sherrylands, the Pioneers, the McAllens, but then you jump right into the tournament with them. Yes. And so, but again, it prepares you for the regular season. And talk to me about how
what you look like in the district this year as far as up and down the league?
Our district is it's kind of, there's a lot of people that lost players, but there's a lot of players coming in. From what I saw, there's a lot of talent all the way around the district. And so in our district, everybody's fighting. In the last tournament that they had in San Benito, everybody kept beating each other. And so it shows that there's a lot of competition. Even though main players were lost, other players are stepping in, and I think it's going to be very competitive.
Final question. If I define Rivera to start the season, it would be defense-oriented, or we've got some hitters we're going to surprise you?
We've got some hitters. But our
that's
defense is
coming
along.
That's a change.
That's all right. Our defense is coming along. They're getting better, so we're going to be ready, I think, for both.
So it's one of those that the firepower may have to carry you through.
For a little bit, for a little bit. But our defense is always solid, so that's what we're going to work at.
That's a given. I know you're going to bring them along.
Coach,
thanks for the visit.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after this.
We live here. We work here. We love it here. Look for your motors in Brownsville, Texas. We're here for you.
My son Leo just graduated from high school, but also with his associate degree from Texas Southmost College at no cost at all. Not having that financial burden was so helpful to our family. That's 2 years we did not have to pay for.
All of my TSC credits transferred to UTRGV, and I am so grateful to go into my major debt-free.
Come visit our new store in downtown Harlingen. We have furniture, appliances, clothes, collectibles, and more. All funds collected support the Sunny Glen Children's Home. Come see us at Vintage on Jackson at First and Jackson in Harlingen.
We are back here at the Luke Fruia Motors, continuing to visit on the volleyball side. Sofia Blanco, a senior for Rivera, joins us. All right, Coach tells me that I look around, and you look around as a senior. Now, all those liberos are gone. All those defenders are gone.
Yes.
And so talk to me about a senior year preparing as like, okay, now there's new leaders, and I'm one of them.
Yes, it's a really big change because I'm always used to looking at people. So now I have to become the leader and show these girls leadership, and it's a really big change because I'm really quiet. So, like, I have to be that big voice and encourage people and show it all out.
During the summer, that meant that you were actually seeing some players that have never been in a position of you got to be the leader now. So how important was the Highway 83 and the competition in Donna that you guys played?
It was really important because these girls need to see competition, and since we lost our libero, so that was a really big change, and these girls needed to step up and show that they can play, and so that really showed a lot, and a lot of girls are competing for that spot, and it's really good.
On the competition side, Coach says, we've got some hitters. So talk about what it's like out there with looking around and seeing the firepower and being able to maybe scare some people on, we know they can play defense, but now suddenly we got to defend the hitters.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, I love setting those girls up, and they just pound the ball down. Like, it's beautiful. And, yeah, I really love it. Like, it's my last year, and seeing all that is, like, really amazing. And it's
Does it make a difference when you walk on the floor when practice started this week for the first time and you realize this is my senior year, this is it? So talk to me about the difference in the feeling when you walked on that court knowing this is it.
For the past 3 years, I just gone up there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it my all. Like, I still got years to go. Like, it's fine. Like, senior year can wait. And then when I finally stepped on that court, it was like, damn, this is it. Like, this probably could be my last time ever playing with these girls. And these girls are like, I love them so much. Like, our friendship are like, we're like so close to each other, and realizing like this is our last time being together is like it breaks my heart. But like, I know I'm gonna give it all I got.
And you're ready to roll. Okay,
yeah.
Final question. Rivera Raiders are in a district that has Harlingen, has Los Fresnos, has all those things. But Julie Bryant's gone. All of those big hitters are pretty much gone.
Yes.
So when you look at the season, does that make you all look at each other and say, you know what? We can go win this district if we do things right.
Yes, if we win, we can win this district if we could do it right. But there's still a lot of big hitters out there in our district, and we are preparing ourselves for that because we know who those big hitters are. But if we be solid this year, I feel like we can take district.
Coach said there's an alumni game coming up.
Yes.
Is that a big deal to you guys?
Yes, because my sister is coming out to play, so it's going to be fun competing with her.
Sounds good.
Yes.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Back with more after this.
When you study local at Texas Southmost College, you can choose from over 50 associate degree programs, certificates, and workforce training programs. Register now for summer and fall classes and study local at Texas Southmost College.
Baby, just listen to me.
Escucha.
Do everything with
Prontísimo.
Out of home business or
Flexible.
Insurance for all your
Barato.
needs. You say you just got a new boat. Come on by and we'll give you a free quote.
Prontísimo.
Okay, who's singing near you? Hello?
Accesible.
Come on.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
Take a ride, or ride a wave, build a castle, or visit a castle. Morning stroll, or nighttime roll. That's as hard as it gets at South Padre Island. Voted Texas Travel Awards Destination of the Year. Plan your escape at sopadre.com.
We are back here at the Luke Fruia Show having some fun. Meet Brownsville edition of the Luke Fruia Show here today on a Wednesday afternoon. And Beto Leal now joins me. We'll go back to football and talk a little Rivera football. Thanks again for joining for the show.
Hey, pleasure to be here. Pleasure.
All right, let's talk about Rivera football and what the outlook is there. Start out of the season, you just got a couple of practices under your belt. What are you seeing?
Well, right now we're looking forward to our young guys stepping up. And we got a good senior group. We got a good junior group. Just the number's a little bit low there. So we're going to have a lot of sophomores stepping up. But as far as our juniors and seniors, you know, it looks real good for them this year.
Coach, been covering this a long time, coming down to Brownsville at Sam Stadium and watching teams. There was many a year in which there were some big dogs out there competing for the district title, and then everyone at the end of the season was like, and then we lost to Rivera. And then we lost to Rivera. Rivera's always that school that's capable of saying, you know, we'll fly under the radar, and we'll still be good enough to beat you. Well, talk about this year's team on the approach there.
Well, our whole approach is that's the way it's been. I'll tell you what, they're at Rivera High School. You know, those kids, they'll go through a brick wall, I've said it time and time again. You know, we had the injury bug last year, you know, no excuse. But those kids just play so darn hard. And that's just all it really is those kids, you know, they don't know how to quit. And, you know, we game plan for everybody. And we, you know, when we go into a game, you know, we feel we can beat anybody. You know, our kids just got to execute. We got to out-coach, you know, the other guys. But, you know, those Rivera kids, I'm telling you, they're super impressive.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about Rivera is a lot of coaches will go into certain games and say, you know, we're going in this with a chip on our shoulder. But your kids traditionally are almost like they're motivated a little extra by saying, go ahead and take us lightly because we're not going to take you lightly.
Yes. Well, you know, when we go, especially in our district, we got a darn tough district, great coaches out there. You know, great kids and stuff like that. So that motivates our kids, you know, to want to practice. When we play the Harlingers, the San Benitos, LFs, you know, the Hannas, the Westlacos, you know, our kids get fired up to go play. You know, they're not doing that backpedaling stuff. They don't want to go out and play those teams. They look forward to, you know, hey, you know, could this be the year we beat them? You know, so I love that in our kids. They work their Broncos off.
It always shows.
Yes.
It truly does. Talk to me about the, let's talk about scrimmages first.
Okay.
Who are you looking at, what you're looking to accomplish there in the scrimmages, and then the first couple of games non-district. So let's walk through the early part of your schedule.
Okay, we have our first two scrimmages, Mercedes and then Donna. You know, Coach Adama does a great job. We love facing them. over at Mercedes, so he gives us more of a little spread look so we can look at. And then Donna, of course, they like to run that ball. And so it gives our defense an opportunity to see both. And then, they're both good programs. And so our kids get to, start hitting someone else and get hit by somebody else. And, as far as our non-district, we got some pretty good teams on our non-district that, we feel if we execute the way we should, then those games should get us ready for district.
Yeah, I could talk about district all day, but we already know what's out
Yes,
there.
sir.
That
Yes,
district
sir.
is no joke as far as whether you're at home or whether you're away.
It doesn't matter.
But again, you try to schedule teams so that you can say, we know we're going to get this style from Los Fresnos. We'll get this style from Harlingen. And you try to schedule teams to get ready for that.
Right, and so that's what we've been doing. So that's why when we set up our non-district schedules and stuff like that, we know that these guys are going to play some, good defense. The teams we play have good defensive groups, and so we need to get our offense rolling. And so during this non-district, we're going to have Jesus. He's one of our quarterbacks. He's going to be battling it out with Manolo, and then we got some running backs. And honestly, we're going to have our first two-way starter since I've been there, which is Medellin. He'll be our strong safety, and he'll also be our starting running back. So I want to see how he's going to be able to, and what we got to do to give him some rest time in order to finish the game.
Is that more out of necessity, or is that like you should see the talent, Joe? I can't keep him off the field.
He's good.
I got to have him on the field.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Last year was a sophomore, so we had good running back, and so we were able to let him play strong safety because he was a good athlete. But my DC doesn't want to let him go now. Now he's like, come on, coach, let me. And so my offensive coordinator doesn't want to let him go. So we're
Man, if you ever talk about a kid with you get stopped on a third down and you have to punt, but you wanted to play, and now you just get the ball back. All right, well, I will. I'll get the ball back right now.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to see how he performs. And then our seniors, we got a good senior group. There's not very many of them, but they're all leaders. They're positive. They're real positive with the younger kids, and getting them to grow. They're sort of like our coaches on the field, like they say. But these guys are going extra to make sure these young cats, stay up with them. And so they know that we need them, to get better faster. If not, it's going to be a long year.
Yeah, well, we'll
we
look.
Don't want long years.
We don't want long years.
We want extended years, just not
true.
long years.
That's true. Well, Coach, again, I appreciate you visiting us. I know you brought a couple of players,
Yes,
and
sir.
I know you guys got practices
A couple of our
in the
seniors,
afternoon.
so
all right, we'll
we're
talk to
fired
them.
up.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
We'll
Have a
be
good
back
one.
right after this.
At Harlingen CISD, college, career, community ready is more than just a saying. We've created 12 academies to provide students with access to fields of study that best fit their interests and passions. Within the 12 academies, there are 42 certifications that will aid students in getting a head start on a career upon graduation. Become HCISD proud and enroll today.
We are back here at the Luke Fruia Show. Luke Fruia Motors here in Brownsville, Texas, home of Buick, GMC, and Cadillac. One of our sponsors here on Rio Sports Live helps us out throughout the year. We appreciate them, their hospitality. They brought in some food to help feed some of the guests that are coming through here. Again, if you're in the area, stop by and say hey. If you're not, take a note. At the very least, stop by someday here in Luke Fruia Motors and say, hey, you know what? We appreciate being able to watch what happens on Rio Sports Live, and we know you're a part of it, and thanks to Luke Fruia Motors. Umberto now joins us here from Rivera, senior, and talk to me about what is different this year getting ready as a senior.
The intensity is way, way, way different. We got a lot of young cats ready to go at it. We got a good senior group last year, but now we're a little bit short, but the intensity is still the same. Ready to ball out, ready for anything. As Coach Leal was saying, we got a new defense, new offense. But we got this one guy who stands out, Jose Medellin, as he was talking about. He's ready for anything. That guy is crazy.
Tell me, I talked to Coach about it when I covered Rivera football. A lot of years, it's real easy for Rivera to say, you know what, you don't believe we can win, we're going to show you. Do you guys really approach the season that way? It's like, we got a chip on our shoulder. You don't believe we're here, we'll show you.
Oh, yeah. Well, at first we come out a little bit scared, but at the end of the day, Coach is going to bring us up. He's going to be behind us the whole way. At the end of the day, we're going to do what we do best. We're going to ball out. We're going to try our hardest. At the end of the day, Coach Leal is going to be behind our backs the whole time.
Challenge. Is the challenge on the defense to be better than the offense? Does the offense look like they want to be better than the defense? Well, what's the internal stuff going on as far as Rivera and the competition? Who's the best?
Well, at the end of the day, we're all the best. Defense tries to push offense up. Offense tries to push us up. At the end of the day, we're a team, and we're the best.
What'd you do differently in the summer this year to get ready for your senior year than you've ever done before?
Actually commit to the summer. This year is the best year of my life.
Good stuff. Umberto Ramos. We'll be back with more after this.
Graduation time. Time to make some decisions. What's next? Can I afford to continue my education? What are my options? At Brownsville ISD Career and Technical Education, you can graduate from high school with a certificate and or license ready to go to work, debt-free. We have a wide range of programs for every student ranging from audiovisual, law enforcement, STEM robotics, electrical, welding, pharmacy, patient care tech, and many more to choose from. That's why Brownsville ISD is the best choice.
We are back here on the Luke Fruia Show here in Brownsville, Texas. I'm Joe Bowling. A little talking sports here on a Wednesday. Umberto Guevara now joins me from Rivera, another senior. And, again, thanks for joining us on the show. Good to get away for a little bit during the afternoon, not out in the hot sun yet, right?
Yes, I'm a little tired. Long practice in the morning, but it's totally worth it.
Talk to me about what you guys have been through already. Well, just walk me through the summer. What did the Rivera Raiders do during the months of May, June, and July, getting ready for football season?
Oh, weight room. We went tough. We gotta get tough for the tough district that we have. So we went to weight room, outside, sprints, running, conditioning, weight room, just repetitive all over again. We just built the toughness that we needed for the season.
You went through those years when you were the freshman coming in, and then the sophomore, and then last year as a junior, you're starting to take on the leadership role as a senior. What's different when you look around the locker room now and you see these younger guys now looking up to you?
Well, every year, I looked up to the seniors. I learned from them. So I saw new teams develop, and I saw new teams leave. And now I'm a senior, and I get to tell these stories, these things to these kids, these younger guys, to explain the playbook, how to watch film, what they didn't know, the plays. They could just come and ask a question.
So a big difference when you came in as a freshman, and Coach said, sit down and watch this film. You watch the film. Now you're watching. Now you're learning from that film, right? So talk to me about the offense and some of the defense. Went out and played some 7-on-7 this summer. So did you keep up with what was going on there? And how important is that you see some success in 7-on-7?
Oh, it's a big success. You get to see the secondary, who's in, who's out. You get to see the freshmen. We don't really play with the freshmen, but on 7-on-7, we get to bring them in. Who's going to be the new young leaders in the team? We get to see a great secondary who can play safety, corners. We get to see all that in 7-on-7. Linebackers, too.
What are you hoping to accomplish before that Mercedes scrimmage next Thursday?
What I want to accomplish is to build a team. We're building a team right now. We're all talking. We're all friends. We just want to go outside, have fun. We want to play football. And that's what we're doing right now, and that's the goal.
Final question, Umberto, and that is, I talked to your coach. I talked to your teammate. Rivera Raiders. A lot of times people say, we got Harlingen, we got San Benito, we got Los Fresnos, and Hanna and all this, and then they're like, Rivera Raiders are right there, and everyone looks up and's like, gosh, they never back away. Do you guys use that to your advantage? Overlook us. Go ahead.
Well, nobody wants to lose to Rivera, and we take that as a note. So we try to beat every team as possible. We play every snap the best, like if it's our last. So we just keep going every game. We're going to give it our all.
Go out there and enjoy your senior year.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back with more after this.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
We are back here in Brownsville, Texas. You see the Cadillac emblem behind me. It's Buick, GMC, and Cadillac. We're talking sports here on a Wednesday afternoon, our traditional show each and every Wednesday afternoon from 2 o'clock, normally till 3. Today we're going to expand a little overtime going into 4 o'clock. Ansgar Hageman now joins me as we switch gears back to volleyball. And I can't believe it's already back and ready to roll, but how are the Hannah Eagles looking as we start the season?
Well, I must say they look very sharp. I mean, the kids work very hard, and they're out there every day, 5 hours during two-a-days. And it's got to say, it's one of the best two-a-days we ever had.
What's the numbers look like as far as returners?
We have about 6 girls returning to varsity this year.
And so how does that play out? Because I know in your district there are a lot of teams that wish they had that many coming back. There's a lot of holes out there in the district and a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, I think Los Fresnos got almost the entire squad back. Rivera has almost the entire squad back. Weslaco is a big unknown now, and San Benito is going to have a new team. But the 6A district is one of the toughest in Texas.
Harlingen, you don't know. Julie Bryant's gone. That's got to make you breathe a little easier, right?
Yeah, but Harlingen, they're all tall there, man. I think they're just twice our size sometimes when I look at the net. But our girls are ready, and they want to prove themselves out there with the tall players.
You got a scrimmage this week coming up. Who's that against and where?
We're going against Edinburgh and Weslaco already in Edinburgh at the Recreation Center.
So you'll get to see Weslaco, a little peek of them at least?
A little peek, yes.
Your girls participated in summer play. Talked about what you got to see from the bleachers.
Yeah, I mean, they participated. We had the Brownsville Spring League, and they were coming together as a team. And summers are already tough, like having them all together. And we also played the San Benito League, and we played with a very young team out there, and they did surprisingly well.
You got this scrimmage coming up, and then next week, where do you go to start the season, and where's your first tournament?
We are going to be at Hannah against Lopez on Tuesday, and Lopez is also a tremendous team. Like, I think that all Brownsville programs, we're very tight and neck to neck this year. So it's going to be a great game, and we also have the first tournament at Donna.
So you're over at Donna, okay?
Yeah.
That's next week. It starts on Thursday.
And I'm excited. It's the first time that we return to Donna. We've been a member of the Pound Fest in McAllen. I would say even one of the founding members, but it was time for a change, and we want to try out the Donna tournament.
And so you're going to get to see a whole new range of faces, which doesn't necessarily hurt.
No. It will be, as I said, I'm very curious. It's a little bit shorter of a tournament. I mean, I like the 3 days play, but Donna has only 2 days, but I'm pretty sure there will be different teams now, and we needed that switch.
We haven't played a single game yet, but yet I can still ask this question. Defining your team, is the hitters or the defenders going to lead the way early on?
I hope it's the setters.
The setters, okay.
We have returning setters, so we're excited to bring them back. But I think we're also very solid defensively, and we have a young hitting squad, but they're eager to learn, and I wouldn't call them giants, but they have hops, and we have some taller girls with us now, so that will help us definitely to sustain in 32-6A.
Another year, another outlook for the Hannah Eagles, and let's hope it's a good one.
We will do our best to make it good.
Ansgar Hageman, that's for the Hannah Eagles. Back with more after this.
See art or create it. On South Padre Island, that's as hard as it gets. Visit sopadre.com.
When you study local at Texas Southmost College, you can choose from over 50 associate degree programs, certificates, and workforce training programs, all at the most affordable cost in the Rio Grande Valley. Transfer your TSC credits to a university or start a new career, like Kat Gomez, who graduated from TSC and is now patrolling the streets of Brownsville and serving her community. Register now at tsc.edu/register and study local at Texas Southmost College.
We are back here on the Luke Fruia Show, and as we continue to visit, now we're talking a little volleyball. Amir Gonzalez with the Hannah Eagles, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Talk to me about you're a senior,
Yes,
so
sir.
talk to me about what your outlook is, and how different does it feel to be putting this uniform on for a last time?
I'm very excited. I'm very determined for this upcoming season. We're hoping for an injury-free season once again. We're super blessed to perform another year great and just overall just excel through our season.
What you guys do during this summer as far as summer workouts, and how do you feel that played along?
It's gonna take a huge toll this season. We're doing a lot of plyometrics, a lot of defensive work, out in the heat a lot, and yeah, overall it's pretty fun.
Coach said that you guys are switching gears. This is your senior year, so every year you've been over at the Pound Fest for the first tournament of the year. This year is at Donna. How different is that?
It's gonna be a lot. But I think we can manage. We're gonna do good. We're gonna perform good.
Talked about your other seniors. Have you guys talked about hey, we're the leaders this year? How differently do you look around the locker room and say, this is our team now?
I like to see, especially the underclassmen step up and say, guys, you know what, like all of us, we're all leaders, not just pick and point who is leader. We look around and we're just like, okay, like we're a team, we're going to come together as one and just overall be positive and just hype each other up.
What did you do during the summer to get ready personally on the season?
A lot of mental work. Coming back from last season, I did have a surgery. So it took a lot of my mental health, and I had to mentally prepare myself for that, physically as well, emotionally too, all over. But I think overall we're going to have such a good season this year.
Anybody that's coming off an injury usually can circle that one time in which they finally say, I got my confidence back. Do you remember that happening during the summer? What was it? Tell me about it. Walk you through that.
Okay, so basically when I got my surgery, it was I think back in 2021, 2022, around that time, back in February. It's been a year since surgery, and honestly, I've been feeling pretty great. It took a lot. My physical therapy was a lot. My body was not used to it. It's hard as an athlete, being so active, going back to back to practice, and just going to the gym after practice just because you want to get better as an athlete. And not only as an athlete, but also as a human being, too. To keep your health in check and everything. So it did actually take a big piece out of like, Amir, no, you need to back away and stay calm and just continue going on through the motions.
I know I came off of ACL surgery, and I remember we were going through a practice, and I went up for a rebound, came down, and I stepped on my good leg on someone else's ankle, and had to land on my surgically repaired leg, and it hit, and it was like, okay, I'm all right.
Yes.
And so, did you have any moments like that yet during volleyball practices?
Yes, it does take a lot, because not only did my ankle be affected, but also my knee. And your knee's connected to your hip, and your hip's connected to your back, so it's all like a posterior chain together, right? So I started feeling a lot of knee pain, and I was like, Mom, my knee hurts. And she's like, are you stretching? And I was like, no. And she's like, well, there you go. Like, you're not stretching properly, and like the 10-second counts are not going to help it, Amira. Like, you need to go out of your comfort zone and stretch properly. So that, my mom, yes.
Having one of your years taken away because of the injury, do you look at it now a little differently, in which you appreciate the fact that, hey, I'm still playing and I'm ready to go?
100%. I really do appreciate the fact that I was gifted to come back as a season and come back even harder. My shoulder's ready. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Good luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you for having me.
Back with more after this.
cientos de ropa en lo que se me antoja dinero en el banco. Muchas me andan criticando pues traigo carrazos que como le hago. Tengo aseguro del bueno, pronto y flexible y sale barato. Es mi corrido humilde, que no se te olvide que me ando ahorrando.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
We are back here at Luke Fruia Motors in Brownsville, Texas. You see the commercials that are running here on the RSL 1 channel, on the RSL network, and those sponsors are the reason why we're doing what we do here at Rio Sports Live, and that is showcasing the athletes to you, the fans, free of charge, no charge ever to broadcast our games. Coach Weirham now joins us with the Lopez. We'll keep it on the volleyball side of things. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, let's talk about the Lobos and what the outlook is for the season and how exciting it is as we start the year.
Well, we're super excited. We, like everybody else, district championship is in our sights. Looking to make a playoff, spot again. But like I said, girls have been working hard all summer. We were very fortunate to have 9 returners. I do have a very young team. I also do have some seniors. I do have a big senior class of girls that came up from JV that are filling some spots. I only graduated 2 senior starters from last year. So, like I said, very excited to see what we have coming up. But
how different is that for you as a coach to start a season saying, you know what, I got some familiar faces. It's we can mold now. How different is that?
It's awesome. It's awesome. I had 4 starting freshmen last year. I did have some injuries early on. I had 2 girls that tore their ACLs, 1 early on in the season, 1 in the second round, but they're back and they're strong. And I mean, the summer rec helps us a lot. The girls have been getting a lot of play in, and they're just ready to go. So returning 4 freshmen, and they're now sophomores back on the court, along with my 2 seniors that you're going to see in a little bit. We're just excited.
Let's talk about those players that are coming off an injury. You as a coach, do you find yourself wanting to back them off a little bit? Because generally they're really eager to push the envelope and see how much they can do.
Of course, you always want to take care of them. It's just so difficult because their main focus and their main goal all year is they want to get better and back on the court. And so you do have to take a step back and say, well, we don't want you to get hurt again. We are trying everything to prevent the injury, but at the same time, they come to you and say, but coach, this is what I've been working for all season to get back on the court. And they're so focused and they're so ready to go out there and show what they're made of. Both, like I said, freshmen, now sophomores, and they are just both my outside hitters, and you're going to see them this season. You're going to recognize them. You'll know their name.
It's one thing. You want to look at them and say, it's okay to take a big exhale and I'm through this, but they never seem to do that.
No.
They want to just go. Again, talk about with this many returners, is the firepower there to carry this team early on, or is the defense more inclined to power you guys early?
It's a little bit of both. Let me tell you, I have the littles. I have a lot of littles, I'll tell you that. I have the twins, and then I have their older sister who is a senior, and they're very small. I don't even think they're 5 feet tall, but boy, do they carry that back row excellently. And then I have the firepower up front. We have not too much height, but man, the power is there. We do a lot of weight training, and their arms are heavy, I'll tell you that much. So we've got the firepower, trust me.
There are teams that can say, you know what, our back row can make you make more mistakes than we have to make good plays.
Right.
Do you take that approach sometimes?
Oh, yes, we do. We do, and that's what we try to do. I always tell them defense is going to win games, but what's also going to win games is minimizing the mistakes that you make. Because, we can pick up as many balls, as we can, but at the end of the day, it's going to be who makes the least mistakes. You miss a serve, you're giving them a point. You hit a ball in the net, you're giving them a point. Your defense can be the best defense they can, but if you can't put it over the net,
gave them a point.
Exactly.
First game of the year, some would say, it's just the first game. It's against Hannah. Is that truly a rivalry game right out of the gate? There's some bragging rights on the line?
Of course. Any game, I think, for my girls is bragging rights, especially when it's against a Brownsville school. You always want to be the best in Brownsville. And then, of course, it's just the first game where they get to actually wear their uniforms, and that's something that they're very proud of. They get to wear their numbers, and they want to go out there and just show what they have. They've been working so hard, like I said, all summer long. That this is the first game where you're actually keeping score, and you want that score to reflect what you've been doing all year. So.
Some coaches keep a heavy tab on monitoring their players through the summer play. Were you one of those coaches hanging out in gyms?
Absolutely, I was, and I was watching your Real Sports Live broadcast. I did have a lot of girls that were taking university classes, so unfortunately, we missed out on Highway 83 this year. And that's something that we were able to do last year, but I would, I was watching all the time and saying, okay, this is
taking a few notes, right?
This is who we play in district and so forth, and just, watching the schemes and the playouts of all the teams.
I tell people all the time who think about that Highway 83 or the Venom League as an insignificant deal in July. It's not. Coaches are sometimes in the stands, they want to coach. They're not, but their players are performing within schemes that you're going to see, and so that does help. Again, your first tournament is where? Where do you guys go?
We are going to Austin ISD tournament, Jason Landers tournament. That will be on the 9th, 10th, and 11th.
How important is that to you to get away from the Valley?
It's
and is it a uniting situation for your team, or are you looking for different competition, or both?
It's both. It's both. It's a team bonding moment for the girls. I'm not taking away anything from, the tournaments here in the Valley, but I think it's a team bonding experience for us. We get to travel, we get to get away, we get to get our heads straight, and then we get to see the different levels of competition. Some might be, a lot faster pace for us, and I think that's maybe what we need to get started. Maybe come back and regroup and say, you know what, I thought so-and-so was going to do better in this situation. Maybe we can pull back a little bit. We might see girls that are going to stand out a little bit more than what we thought. So it's very important, to see that kind of play.
You're going to see plenty of competition in the RGV.
Exactly.
This gives you that chance to see that different look. And at times, totally different schemes and athletes.
Right.
And that plays a factor, too. Again, wish you best of luck. Thanks
you
for joining us here, and we'll visit with your players.
Thank you very much.
Back with more after this.
Our service is unmatched. Our commitment to our team and our community, relentless. Our products are innovative and exciting. Fruia, we're what's next now.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
We are back here at the Luke Fruia Show, our coaches show, talking sports on a Wednesday afternoon. Every Wednesday at 2 o'clock you can catch us here. There's an occasion in which we'll go live on the road with the Luke Fruia Show, but most times we're right here in the showroom floor, the home of Buick, Cadillac, and GMC here in Brownsville, Texas. We're going to continue to talk a little Lobo volleyball as we have Desiree Castillo and Paula Lopez that are joining us, a couple of seniors on the squad. Girls, thanks for joining us on this show.
Thank you for having us.
All right, let's talk about, first of all, I'll go one-on-one. We got one mic. They're going to share it. They wanted to go on a double team here, so here we go. We'll start with Desiree. Desiree, as a senior, talk to me about the difference getting ready for this season compared to any other.
I think it's very scary. Just going in and knowing it's your last year, you basically want to work as hard as you can and kind of just always be as successful as you can. Because, I mean, it's your last year. You want to play full out. You want to do the best you can. And it's kind of sad, too, because my past years I'm always like, oh, I still have one more year. I still have one more year. And well, now that it's coming to an end, it's very sad, but also very exciting because you never know what comes next.
I've had coaches in my past, and I've helped coach players in my past that are going into their final year, and I've told them, get a calendar out. Count how many days it is from now till the end of your final district game, and you're going to find you got about 69, 70 days. And so if you looked at it that way, Paula, could you literally circle every day and say, now today I want to do this and today I want to do this, or has it hit that it's that short between now and the end of your volleyball career at high school?
If we're being honest, it honestly doesn't feel like such short time, because when we are practicing and we are working, it does seem like days by days go by. But honestly, I think as the time goes on and the season's coming to an end, you are truly going to feel how short of a time you have, especially when it's your last year.
I always tell the seniors that I'm talking to, get yourself a journal and write down every night what you did that day to make yourself better, because it's such a short period of time. But Coach says there's a lot of players coming back on this team, so how important is that as a senior? And we'll start with Paula. How important is that to you to look around and see all these familiar faces? It's not one of those years in which everyone's new.
Well, to be honest, we have a lot of new people coming in as well, but everyone that has returned, we are more comfortable with each other. We already know what they're capable of. So it's kind of easier to work because it's not like you're resetting everything. You still have some girls that are coming back that you see familiar and people that you know.
Desiree, Coach says that, the offense is capable of producing some big hitters at times, and the defense can play some hard-nosed defense. So how are those inter-squad practices? How competition is there? How high is that?
I feel like there's so much competition. Even in between the team, like, we all just look at each other like, I can score on you, or I can do this. And sometimes we can't, which is, I want to say, really good, because what do you mean she can pick up my hit, or I can't kill on her? But I feel like it pushes us always. It gives us that little extra push that we need throughout the summer and even in practices. That's something every team needs too.
It also helps build trust, because now hey, that girl behind me is going to pick up some hits that other teams are going to – that's a guaranteed point. Well, not with her behind me.
Yes,
so how does that
course.
help on the confidence level, knowing the defenders around you are going to help your team?
I feel like throughout the years we've always had a really good communication-wise, and even, like, I can rely on a lot of my girls, which is really relieving to me, even, again, like the familiar faces. And last year, too, I was able to rely on my girls a lot. And this year as well, a lot of them have been improving and even showing up every day, practice, work, weight room, conditioning. And I think it puts us, like, on top of everyone. It gives us that little boost of confidence, and I really enjoy the fact that I can rely on my girls.
I talked to Coach. I asked the question. I'll ask you. I'll start with you. I'm going to ask you, too. It's the first game of the year. It's a regular season game, but it's against Hannah. Is there really bragging rights out there that you guys want to make sure you handle things against these Brownsville schools right out of the gate?
Always.
Really?
Yes. Especially because I've known a lot of the girls growing up, too. Like, I've always seen them against, like, when we were in middle school, or even sometimes we play club outside and we know each other. It gives us that little confidence, or, like, kind of the little ego boost that we need coming into the season.
Paula, your answer to that question, is it bragging rights to be able to beat the other Brownsville schools?
It is, especially like what Desiree just said. We have been playing with each other ever since middle school. And to be able to do that and to be able to come out our first game and win, it's a very good start to what our season is going to come to.
Even though it's the first game of the year.
Yes, it still matters.
That's great. That's great stuff. All right, girls, well, I'll let you go. Good luck on your scrimmages. Good luck on this season. Coach is eyeing a district title. I know you are, too.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be back with more after this.
And it went like...
Our service is unmatched. Our commitment to our team and our community, relentless. Our products are innovative and exciting. Fruia, we're what's next now.
Hello from Los Fresnos CISD, an A-rated Texas Education Agency district. A stands for Academic Excellence at Los Fresnos CISD, where pathways to secondary success are being built for students at the brand new Resaca Middle School campus. A stands for Academic Advancement at Los Fresnos High School, where the College Center provides a jump start on college and career readiness that includes advanced placement classes, dual enrollment options, CTE opportunities, and scholarship money. Los Fresnos CISD, an A-rated and 7-time post-secondary readiness distinction district.
We are back here on the Luke Fruia Show here in Brownsville, Texas on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm Joe Bowling with you. It's Meet Brownsville edition, and we have had them rolling in from the BISD schools. We've got some other schools that are also going to be contributing to this show as we go into the overtime period. Normally it's from 2 to 3. Welcome to Overtime. We're here from 3 to 4 as we've got a long list of guests. Right now joining us, it's football time at Pace, and let's talk to Daniel Pardo. Coach, thanks for joining us here on the show.
Thank you for the invite.
And here we go. Talk to me about Pace football and what the outlook is. I know it's early, but it's still ready to look at this team.
Well, we're excited. I mean, we have a group of older kids coming up and the young ones. Some key positions we're young. Quarterback will be a young kid. Probably about two-thirds of our offensive line will be back, so that'll probably be our strong point this year. Our backfield is back. So defensively, last year was probably the best part of it, with more experience. Now we'll be young a little bit there, but I think we'll be pretty much about, pretty comparable last year, with a good bunch of young kids that we have.
How does that help as far as a new quarterback coming on the scene, to know you got guys up front that are used to protecting, that can maybe be those leaders and the playmakers next to him? How does that help you bring in a younger quarterback?
Well, the pressure won't be so much on him as far as making plays over the air. He's got two backs that they're returning. Again, the blind is there, and he's new as far as youth, but he's been in the program since 7th and 8th grade. He's been around our program, so he's very familiar with what we do. So he stepped in last year as a freshman at JV level, and this year he's stepping into the varsity role right off the bat. Did
you get to take a peek at him during some 7-on-7, or if
did.
so, how important was that?
To him was really a growing point because his arm was still trying to develop him. So 7-on-7 when we started looked kind of bad. Towards the end, now he knew where to put him, how a little more strength on that arm. So it really helped him develop during the 7-on-7 time.
Could you tell a difference from when you saw him in May compared to what you saw him just this week when he steps on the field?
Of course, yes, he is. He feels a lot comfortable, I'm telling you. And, his pass is a little better, making us work a little more on defense, because, from what we saw him last year in the spring as a freshman to what we see now, it's a big difference.
And you say the defense is coming on with some different faces. So, again,
Yes.
looking for some unity there. And what is the outlook as far as is the offense going to have to put up some points to help that defense come along, or is just the pressure on them that you guys better get together quick?
No, I mean, the offense, we try to run the ball as much as we can to control the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So our defense, we try to minimize the snaps they do. Last year we were very fortunate that our offense could slow the game quite a bit for us. So, again, last year's defense was a little, more experienced than we are. But we're not that far off from last year. Some of the kids, last year were young in the secondary and in the linebacker spot. Now they're back, but we lost our defensive line. Last year's defensive line was basically the same one from the previous year. So, but, it looks pretty promising, to look at the defense as it's growing as we go along.
The beauty of high school sports,
Yes.
You're always going to look at a few new faces in some new places. All right, so talk to me about what your schedule looks like. Let's walk through the scrimmages, who it's against, and what you hope to accomplish in the first couple of scrimmages.
Well, we got Porter first. I like to coach with Esther. We like to stay in town, not travel too much, and we probably just based off just to see kids being a little more competitive with somebody else. Then we get Los Fresnos. That's when we really crank it up a little bit. They're going to be tough. That quarterback they have is real good. That'll be a good test for our secondary, So, and Los Fresnos will give us as much as we can handle. If we can handle, be out there a little bit, stay up with them, we should be in good shape.
That's the week before the regular season
Yes.
starts. You're up against the Los Fresno. So then roll that into, what is the opener and how does that play out?
It doesn't get any easier. I get Sherilyn right off the bat. We're going to, Rattler Stadium over there. So, coach over there gets their kids, very good athletes, all over the place. So, it's going to be tough. But last year, I knew that we had to schedule some pretty tough kids, teams, so we can develop a little, toughness. Because our kids, remember, this is the back half of that COVID years.
Mm-hmm.
So, we need to catch them up in playing time and all that. And then after that, it gets even worse because we got to go play San Benito. So we have a schedule that's very tough.
That's the two non-district
Yes.
starters. Wow. Okay, so from Los Fresnos to Sherilyn to San Benito,
Yes.
and now you're into week 3 of the regular season.
Yes.
So again, you're talking about vastly different styles,
Mm-hmm.
vastly different type of athletes that are going to be out there. How does that prepare you best for your district, though? Because it does help.
Yeah. Again, like I said, our district's pretty tough. The Wesco East, the South, Brownsville Veterans, all those. So we have to schedule some people that we can pretty much compare and get our kids used to that kind of speed, that kind of size. So when they go into district, when it really counts, they're not so surprised about what they see.
Good stuff. Coach, appreciate the visit.
Thank you.
Pace Vikings back with more after this.
Ibanez Tortilleria, serving up freshly made in-house corn and flour tortillas since 1994. Try our delicious menudo, tasty barbacoa, fresh tamales, tacos, pareadas with juicy grilled chicken, and tender fajitas. On Mondays, buy one barbacoa taco and get one free if you mention that you're a Bloodhound fan. Located at 4726 Paredes Line Road, Brownsville, Texas. Open every day at 6:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. To order, contact 956-541-9594.
We are back here on the Luke Fruia Show here in Brownsville, Texas. I'm Joe Bowling with you, and Ray Lerma now joins me as we'll continue things with Pace Vikings. Senior year, Ray, talk to me about what it's all about this year.
It's all about getting it done this year. These past 2 years it's been slow, but this year's the goal is to make it to the playoffs. That's the goal.
Backs against the wall for you guys, or what is the outlook as far as the overall approach to this season? Final time to go around it, backs against the wall, which way?
What do you mean?
Is it more that we know what to expect, or this is my last go around? I don't have much time left.
Yeah, I think this is my last go around. Like, I don't have much time left. We gotta get it done. Like, get everything ready.
What's different this year compared to the other years? How does it feel walking in the locker room knowing it's your last year?
I mean, what do you say? My bad.
It's good.
Yeah, so what was the question?
Is it different? Does it seem different when you walk in the locker room knowing it's your last year?
Yeah, I mean, it seems different, like new faces and everything. But since I'm a senior, I have to get all the like lower kids ready, and just helping them out, training them out, and everything, and trying to get everybody ready.
Coach says you're going to play against Los Fresnos, then Sherryland, and then San Benito. How exciting is that to see them big schools on your schedule?
That's really exciting because, it gets us a point of view like where we're at and where we're going to be heading into the season, and I think it's a good approach to the season.
Offensive line, you got a new quarterback behind you. Do you feel any pressure wanting to make sure he's protected?
Yeah, I think he'll be good. I really trust the O-line this year. I really trust him, and I think he'll have a good season.
Good stuff. We'll be back after this. That's Ray Lerma with the Pace Vikings. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rodo Rodriguez, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation for building some of the finest agents in the industry. I help to manage that process from day one. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business, then I would like to show you how I can help.
My son Leo just graduated from high school, but also with his associate degree from Texas Southmost College at no cost at all. Not having that financial burden was so helpful to our family. That's 2 years we did not have to pay for.
All of my TSC credits transferred to UTRGV, and I am so grateful to go into my major debt-free.
We are here on the Rio Sports Live Network. Thanks again for tuning in wherever you may be as you're watching these games. You just saw the commercial there for Texas Southmost College, the first college to have a channel on our network. TSC College opening up with official back in athletics, if you will, as their soccer teams hit the pitch for their first practices this week, and their first games are coming up in a couple of weeks. You'll see that all on the TSC channel. You're currently watching us here on the RSL 1 channel, and want to be proud enough to announce that yesterday we signed on 2 additional schools that will have their own unique channels, and that is Sherryland. We'll have 24/7, 365 days a year, all day Sherryland school broadcast within games, outside of games. Pioneer has their own channel. Already Harlingen has their own channel. Harlingen South has their own channel. Brownsville Veterans with their own channel. I'm meeting with the Brownsville schools, and we hope to have each of their schools have their own channel as well, so that we can continue to produce the sporting events and outside sporting events for fans to tune in. Joining us now as we'll continue things on the football side, Sean Tarantola, and away we go. Let's talk a little Lopez football.
That sounds great. Hey, thanks for having us. We have a ton of respect for what you guys do. We really appreciate the coverage.
You bet. It's easy to do when we got participation from coaches and players, and just the generosity from the BISD schools. Talk to me about Lopez and what the outlook is for your season already.
Well, we're very fired up. It's a very positive outlook. We have about 25 guys that played varsity football for us last season, and they played a lot, and so, the outcomes weren't what we wanted last year, but that experience, 1 year of off-season of strength and conditioning and developing as a player and developing as a person, we have high expectations for.
That's two factors that I would either one, I could talk to a coach and say, okay, are you building on this? And that is, one, we didn't play as well as we wanted to last year. Two, I got a bunch of guys coming back. You got both. You get to double dip on that. So talk about how, I'm not going to say anything's easy, but it's much easier to prepare for a season coming up in the offseason with that two factors in play.
Experience matters. It really does. It matters at the varsity level in a sport like football. And physicality matters. Being a junior, being a senior compared to being a sophomore, trying to play at that level, makes a big difference. And, on top of that, the third factor that we have that I'm real excited about is we have talent. I mean, we have good football players in our campus. And, they were just, a lot of them were very young. A lot of them were very inexperienced last year. But they don't have that anymore to hold them back. Youth and inexperience. They have experience. They're going. Most of our roster is going to be seniors or juniors, and so we're excited to see where that takes us. We have high expectations, and we'll see how far that takes us.
Motivation can come from two areas as well. One, let's put a chip on our shoulder because we don't feel like we played as well as we needed to last year. Or look at how much better we are. Let's build on that. Which is it more for Lopez this year?
For us, it's always just about getting better. Our focus is always on ourselves and how much we can improve each day. And, I was real proud of our guys last season because some of the games were, really tough to be a part of as a coach and as a player. But those young guys, they didn't give up. They didn't quit. They kept coming to practice. They kept working hard. And now for us, it's just like we know we're a lot better than what we've been. Now we just get to see how far that takes us and how much better we can become between now and late November.
Off-season participation then, talk to me about the numbers game and how that worked out for you.
Yeah, well, our enrollment in our school is pretty small and the amount of student athletes that participate in athletics, we're getting about 25-30%. But when it comes to a football program, our numbers overall are probably going to be a lot smaller than the teams we're playing against as far as our varsity roster, as far as our JV and freshman roster. But that's okay. Well, the key for us is getting the right kids and really working with them, and then from there, getting them to play other sports as well and kind of sharing those student athletes. And, for us as a football program, what we want is about 85% of the male athletes in the school, we want them playing football. And if we get to that number, we're getting a lot closer to that number. We feel like we'll have the talent and the depth to compete at a really high level.
Talk to me about the scrimmage, the first scrimmage and who that's against, and then compare that to the second scrimmage before we get into the regular games.
Okay, well, we actually did spring football, so we only have one scrimmage, and our first scrimmage will be against Lyford, and it's the same team we went against last season. And then after that, we'll open up our season at Sam Stadium on Friday night against St. Joe, Brownsville St. Joe High School.
St. Joe, I saw them in a midnight practice. They're going to bring a lot of firepower. So what do you look for in that Lyford scrimmage? One time on the field and off, cracking against another team. What do you hope to accomplish there?
Well, there's a few kind of points of emphasis we had this offseason, and a lot of it had to do with physicality, being more physical at the line of scrimmage, tackling better, those types of things. So, with the scrimmage, that's all we want to see is our points of emphasis in the offseason showed up when we played against an opponent. And, that's what we'll be looking for in that first scrimmage, just seeing, hey, how much better is our tackling than it was the year before? How much more physical are we, especially up front, the line of scrimmage than the year before? If we could feel a lot better about those two things, we'll feel good about being able to compete at a high level.
If the season is a marathon, then the sprint at the early part of the year tells me offense ahead of the defense ahead of the offense. Where are you at right now?
Well, our expectation coming in was to have the offense a lot further ahead than the defense because we returned basically 9 offensive starters. But that being said, spring football we competed quite a bit, offense versus defense, and I'm somewhat happy to say that our defense really got the better of our offense throughout most of spring football. So that was a good sign for us, improving both aspects. We should expect to be a lot better on offense, because when you have 9 return starters on that side of the ball, that makes a big difference when you talk about experience. But that being said, our defense really took it to us offensively, and I think it'll be fun to see. It'll be a little competition to see which side of the ball starts faster for us this year.
Again, I know it's a marathon. The end of the season, you all want to cross the finish line at the same time. Talk to me, last question here, and that is, with the number of returners on your offense, is the tendency to say, let's open the playbook up a little more, or let's refine what we do best and let's hone in on that?
That's a great question. Usually it would be open up the playbook a little bit more. But when we look through our season and we were watching, we evaluated every game, and most of our mistakes were just not executing at the level that we need to execute to be a good team. So really this year going in, we're going to probably be more refined. We're going to probably cut back actually to start, and then add slowly as the season goes on. But if we're not doing a lot, but we're doing it really well, we'll be real pleased with those results, we believe.
You can still find ways to get a lot better that way. Yes. Coach Tarantalo, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Back with more after this.
Sunny days or starry nights. Lay back or splash down. Brunch, lunch, or late night munch. That's as hard as it gets at South Padre Island. Voted Texas Travel Awards Destination of the Year. Plan your escape at sopadre.com.
Back here, and thanks for joining us here on the Luke Fruia Show. Joe Bowling with you as we continue Meet Brownsville edition of our Luke Fruia Talking Sports Coaches Show here on a Wednesday afternoon. Our appreciation to the sponsor, Luke Fruia Motors, for being one of the primary people that are in place to help us do what we do. J.C. Ramirez now joins me. That means we're talking a little Brownsville Veterans football as we continue to stay on the football side. And first of all, Coach, excited about the season. Here we are just a few days in.
I can't wait. We were able to have spring football, so we kick off this coming Monday. Excitement's in the air. Got a bunch of new characters trying to fill roles that have been vacated, but competition is an all-time high, and we just can't wait. We can't wait to see what we got.
Talk to me about the returners, the numbers game. Who's coming back? Not names, just numbers coming back.
Well, we're very lucky. We do have 7 returners coming back on offense, and we have 7 contributors on defense as well. So we have a whole lot of experience coming back. We are missing some big names that graduated, but the kids that are competing to replace those kids are very hungry, and we're real excited to see how those competitions kind of play out.
Hungry is the word I'm gonna go off of there. There are coaches during the offseason that say, I've got to track my players down, I got to bring them in. There are other coaches who say, my coaches are bugging me to death because they're always wanting to do something. Where does Brownsville Veterans fall into place?
I think we have a great situation. I'll say it like that. Our staff feels very lucky to be the staff in place at Brownsville Veterans, and our players understand that they're very lucky to be the players at Brownsville Veterans. So we're extremely grateful as a program to be where we're at. And as a whole, I think as a program and as a whole part of this community, we're happy to be the kids and the staff that's representing that school. So hungry, yes, ready to prove, sure, but really excited.
Building off of last year, are you building more so off of what we didn't get finished or what we did that we know we can get better at?
Well, our focus is always on the Charger red, white, and blue. So we keep our focus in-house. We have we're very intrinsically motivated as a program. We know we have great opponents scheduled, and that's not by any mistake or default. Very purposefully did that scheduling. But our kids, they know that our biggest opponent, our toughest opponent is ourselves. And so, like I said, we're excited to see where we're at after spring football and a whole summer's worth of preparation. As coaches, all we can do is set up the schedule and tell them this is when we're available, and we're available pretty much every week except for July 4th week, and we had phenomenal numbers all the way around.
Gotta love that. Talk to me about your one scrimmage and who that's against, what you hope to accomplish in that one.
So we were very lucky. We found ourselves an opponent for our first scrimmage. Our only scrimmage is Edinburgh Vela. So we know that we have quality players coming back. We know Edinburgh Vela is a quality program. We have a great professional relationship with that staff, that head coach over there as well. So our scrimmage is going to be a little bit untraditional in a sense, but it's set up to service them and us. And it should be a great night for football, but at the same time, we're not going out to win a scrimmage, and they're not going out to win a scrimmage. We know we've got weapons. They know they've got weapons. So we're excited to just see, match up against somebody else, another quality opponent.
And then talk about the regular season. How does it start off? Those non-district games. What do we expect opponent-wise?
So obviously, we respect all of our opponents. Our objectives are to win our first game, to win our first conference game, and to win our first playoff game. Right? You can't get anything done in between if you don't start off right. So our first game, our first non-district game is against San Benito. Again, a great quality program. We're really excited about that matchup. Then we
you get them here or there?
We go to their house.
Okay.
But in my coaching career, we've had a great experience going over there, and again, great opponent. So we're really looking forward to that one. Our kids are preparing, for the start of the season, but we know that that's the first one that counts. It's a non-district game, but it does count. And then we face off against arguably one of the dark horses, top 10 teams in the Valley, which is St. Joseph Academy. They've got a great ball club. People don't seem to notice them or put them on the radar.
I noticed them. I was there Midnight Madness.
But
I saw them.
What? They've got a lot of talent. We respect the heck out of them. Really, their kids and our kids kind of grow up together, and so that's a great rivalry. We played them last year, and that was a college atmosphere. It really was. And then we go over to Port Isabel, and we face the winningest Hispanic head football coach, and Tony V and the Mighty Tarpons. And so, last year that was a grind-out type of ball game. We don't expect any different, and it's at their home this time around. So our three non-district opponents, very, very tough. And then obviously we start our district with some great matchups, which include Harlingen South, Donna, Westlake East, Donna North, Lopez, intra-city rival Pace. There's no down week for us on our schedule.
So within your district, you just rattle them off, and you're talking about various styles: all run, mostly pass, mix it up, back and forth. So those non-district games, physical team, spread team, able to run the ball team. So it's all the preparation. This is not by happenstance that this schedule was put together, Coach.
Absolutely
you knew you were looking at what you wanted to do.
Absolutely, and again, the expectations are extremely high from within our program, and so we have to get ready for every style of opponent that we could possibly see in the first round, second round, third round of the playoffs, and our objective is to have a great playoff run.
If you had to, as a coaching staff, to lean on one or the other to start the season, who's ahead of the pace, defense or offense?
I would have to say that our offense is really clicking. It's hard to say. We don't have pads on, but as a head football coach and being from a defensive mind or upbringing per se, because I've been a defensive coordinator in my professional career, I'm really excited where our offense is right now. People say, you lose Brian Chavez, 9 touchdowns in one game. I mean, who does that? We lose our district MVP, our quarterback, Reese Sampaio. But yet, I'm just giddy to see how these guys roll because we're bringing back our top 7 offensive linemen, the kids that are competing to replace those guys that put up those ungodly numbers are extremely athletic and extremely hungry. And
The
that's
guys
that's
that
what's
open
going
the
to make
holes
us,
are back.
They're all back.
And I've heard real good things about the backfield.
Yes.
It's not just going to be perhaps one guy. This could be a stable of backs coming out of there.
Absolutely. So again, we're very excited. We're really, really excited for the season.
Can't wait to see it.
Can't wait to see it either.
All right, we'll talk to the kids, and thanks again. That's Coach Tarantullo. Back after this.
Hija, tomorrow you quinceañera. I need you to call your padrinos and tell them thank you for the salon, the tamales, the dress, el DJ.
Ay, Ama, you called them. I didn't even want a quinceañera in the first place. I would have preferred to have gone to Paris instead.
I will, fine. I'm gonna give you your surprise gift early.
Huh?
Guess what? You're going to Paris.
How?
Well, I've been saving mucho dinero all year in insurance thanks to Pronto Insurance.
Let's just get the quinceañera and go straight to Paris.
Call your padrinos right now.
Okay, yeah.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
We live here. We work here. We love it here. Look for your motors in Brownsville, Texas. We're here for you.
My son Leo just graduated from high school, but also with his associate degree from Texas Southmost College at no cost at all. Not having that financial burden was so helpful to our family. That's 2 years we did not have to pay for.
All of my TSC credits transferred to UTRGV, and I am so grateful to go into my major debt-free.
Come visit our new store in downtown Harlingen. We have furniture, appliances, clothes, collectibles, and more. All funds collected support the Sunny Glen Children's Home. Come see us at Vintage on Jackson at First and Jackson in Harlingen.
We are back here on the Talking Sports Show here at the Luke Fruia Motors, and well, here they are. You talk about intimidation. If I stood up, I wouldn't be the tallest guy in this mix. As we're joined by, count them, 4 Brownsville veteran Chargers here as we talk a little football here on the show. We've got Nick Tovar, Matthew Pignon, Storm Montoya, and Gilbert Trio. Right now, I've just told them we're going to pass this mic around. We're going to start first and foremost with senior offensive lineman Matthew Pignon. And first of all, how excited is it for the season for the veterans Chargers? You guys haven't got to practice yet, but you're ready.
Well, it's very exciting for all of us. We're all very enthusiastic about it in practice.
So talk about, as you pass the microphone along, we'll go from Matthew to Nick. And Nick Tovar, talk to me about it's your senior year. How exciting is it to be ready to go?
I'm excited, to work with these guys every day, go to work, and, yeah, we're ready.
You guys have had spring ball, so how important was that to get your reps in?
It was pretty important to get a little bit ahead of the game. Going into the season, our district matchups and our non-district matchups are pretty tough, so it was good to get ahead of the game.
Let's hand the mic over to Storm. And Storm Montoya,
Yes,
when
sir.
Coach tells me that I've got most of my offensive line back, how important is that to you as a quarterback to say, I know who's protecting me?
It's very important because I trust these guys with my life. Like, they've been around and they know how the game goes. They know what to do. They do their job great, and I trust them with it.
So talk to me as you hand the microphone over. We'll ask Gilbert Trio, as one of the backs that he's going to be handing the ball off to. When you look at these linemen and you say, hey, I can trust these guys, how does that make your job easier to get ready for the season?
Oh, it makes it way easier. Look at them. Big. Like, look at that. It makes it way easier. Big holes, big everything. It's a pleasure to get the handoff from Storm. It's just a blessing.
What'd you guys do in the offseason to get ready that most people may not know?
Ooh, the workouts, the weight room. We're all there. We all put in the work. And it's we just put in the work.
Let's just pass the microphone back along to the quarterback. And, as you take a look, I've been told off camera that, the stable of backs behind you, it's not just a one-man show. You got a few of them.
Yep.
So how exciting is that to you? Take the snap. Get ready. I'm going to hand it off to someone that's going to be able to produce.
It's just like whenever I hand it off, it's like I know this guy's got it, and he's going to get some yards, rack up some yards, and get us to where we need to be in the game.
Let's pass the microphone on back to these linemen back here. Guys, you know, the one thing about it, being a senior, first of all, is you've got the experience of being around for a couple of years. But when you look around and your buddies are also back, how much easier does that make it for when these guys are getting the ball? You guys know each other and what to do.
Well, it makes it very easy because we all have that chemistry, so we know like who has who, and like it just makes everything a lot easier when you know like the person next to you knows their job.
We'll keep it right there, the microphone with you. Back against the wall, as far as we got something to prove, or man, this is my last year. I got something to prove. Which motivates you more?
Well, it's not about something to prove. It's just mostly just having fun and spending a lot of time with the guys that I have left.
Do you feel like the clock's running and you don't have much more time left? You can count the number of games left in your career?
Yeah, it's flying by really fast.
Pass the microphone on along. Let's talk about from a scheme perspective. When Coach draws up plays, you guys know what it's all about. How much different is it now as a senior compared to when you were a freshman or a sophomore coming up having to learn all this scheme?
Well, when we first learned the offense, we didn't really know much about it. Now in my senior year, we're learning. I mean, we learn the offense from the top of our head. You know, we run it. So.
And what'd you do during the off season that may be different compared to what you did in the years past?
Well, our coaches prepare us very well. I mean, we lift every day, we condition every day, and we're just getting better every day for the season.
All right, let's pass the microphone on back around. We'll get back to the quarterback. Coach says you get one scrimmage, and wow, it's a good one against Vela. So, it's not we got to beat them. They're going to want to beat us. It's we want to compete. We want to get some things done, but it's Edinburgh Vela. So do you guys look at that as like we got a little bit to prove? We want to make sure we have a good showing there.
We just got to compete with them, and, they're going to give us a dogfight in the scrimmage, and it's going to show us what we need to fix and what we need to do better on our assignments. And hopefully we put up a matchup with them because they're a pretty tough team, pretty good ball club.
You look down the line as we pass the microphone on around here. You look at that first game of the year. That's no easy place to go play football. So talk about the matchup there as you eyeball. We know who we're playing in week one.
Yeah, we know who we're playing. We played them week one last year. We put up a fight against them. We're expecting another game like that, a dogfight with San Benito.
Dog fight in the dog pound. That's not a bad way to go. Let's talk about that first game. I'm going to ask each one of you. First game back at home, and that is one could say that's a bragging rights kind of game. That's a Brownsville kind of thing. That's a private school versus a public school. That's Veterans versus St. Joe. So I know you're focused on San Benito, but I got to ask it. I'm that reporter guy that's got to ask it. Is that a big one for you, or is that just a lot of fun to go out there and play that game?
To us, every game's a big one. It is a lot of fun because it's a lot of history throughout there, but every game's a big one to us. It's not one game that we circle on our calendar.
Good for you. Storm, you know these guys. It's got to be fun to go out there. I know rivalry could be one thing, but it's got to be fun playing that game.
Yes, sir. They know a couple of our guys, and we know a couple of them, and I know they've been talking a little smack that I've heard. But, we're going to stay quiet for now and just wait till the game and show them what's up.
That's good. Pass it on to the seniors. Again, when you play at home, it's a little different to play it there at Sam Stadium, or whether you play the games on your home turf now on some of the home games there. But when you count them, is it important for you to go out as senior and take care of business on your home field?
Yes, it's very important because that's where you practice, where you train, that's where you do everything. So, of course, you want to perform well on that field.
Final question, your thoughts on being able to play at home and what it means when you finally get back home after the district game and the non-district game in San Benito and that scrimmage. You finally get to go home. How important is that going to be when you step on that field for the first time?
It's important. It's one of our last games there at home. It's going to be a good one. We try to worry about ourselves and just try to take care of business. Just another game to us.
Terrific interview, guys. That's the Brownsville Veterans Chargers. That's some of them. They'll hit the field with practice real soon. They got one scrimmage, and then, San Benito, and then Brownsville, St. Joe. We'll be broadcasting all of those. Back with more after this.
When you study local at Texas Southmost College, you can choose from over 50 associate degree programs, certificates, and workforce training programs. Register now for summer and fall classes and study local at Texas Southmost College.
Baby, just listen to me.
Escucha.
Do everything with
Prontísimo.
Out of home business or
Flexible.
Insurance for all your
Barato.
needs. You say you just got a new boat. Come on by and we'll give you a free quote.
Prontísimo.
Okay, who's singing? Me or you? Hello?
Accesible.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
We are back here live on the Luke Fruia Show in Brownsville, Texas, and Sherry Hoskins is going to join us, talk a little veterans, but veterans volleyball. And so first of all, talk to me. Thanks for joining me on the show first.
Thank you so much for having me.
I saw you come walking in the front door, all smiles, and then all of a sudden everyone's trying to make you nervous here. So talk to me about the season and what the outlook is for your squad.
Well, so far we just finished our third day of our two-a-days, our tryouts, and we have a pretty good group. Yes, we lost some vital players last year, but we still utilizing the same players that we have, and we have some players that are going to be stars on our court as well, and they're gonna shine, and hopefully bring on good things.
Anything happen in the off season as you were watching them develop, watching them play their off season workouts? Anything stand out that's like, hey, I wasn't quite expecting that?
Well, we during the off season, they got, whether it was through conditioning or lifting weights, our girls have gotten stronger. They were able to mesh together as a team, and with that, with the upcoming girls that we do have joining our group, they were able to utilize what we have and work with them as well. So,
hitters, setters, defenders, put them in a race at a 100-yard dash to who's better as a squad on the team to start the year. Who's ahead of who?
Oh man, I get our DSs. They're a great group of girls, and man, they will put our hitters and our setters for a running when it comes to our hitters. But by golly, our hitters, they'll throw it out there with our DSs as well.
And I talked to the other coaches, and a lot of coaches look at that and say, you know what, if my defenders can play well enough, another team's going to make more mistakes than I have to make big hits.
Yeah.
And so do you take that approach?
Well, one thing, what I'm grateful for, every single player, they have their role, they know their role, and if it's our libero, and she's on the spot where she has to step up because our setter's out, she could step up as a setter. And same thing with our back row DSs. They're just as effective as our front rows when it comes to hitting and making those kills from the back row as well.
Good.
So whether it's the front row, back row, they all are able to work together as a team and make something happen. And bring home those points.
Let's talk about the first scrimmage and who that's against and what you hope to accomplish there.
Well, with our first scrimmage, it's going to be at Donna North, and we have some great players that teams that we're gonna be playing against. We have Rivera. They always keep us on our toes. Whether last year when we played against them, it was them winning, us winning, and it's back and forth. And same thing, they're gonna keep us on our toes this year, and we just have to work and be prepared from right now until that point. To where when we do play against them, see what we could bring and what they could bring.
First scrimmage is one thing, then the first game is another. Who's that against before that next tournament?
Well, our first game coming up, it's actually gonna be, by golly, it's gonna be PSJ Memorial, and originally we were gonna play against PSJ Memorial and Edinburgh, but unfortunately, the Edinburgh stepped down where they weren't able to play, but it's just against PSJA. But our girls, it's going to be a great game against PSJA. But I have a lot of faith in my girls, and they prepared, and I know what we could do with the rotations and the different types of plays based off whether it's a free, a serve receive, or whether it's just digging the ball. But we're prepared to make those fundamental plays and take it away.
First tournament?
First tournament is going to be at Mac High, and that tournament alone, it's just going to help us grow as a team, especially with these new players coming in, because they have some strong players. They have strong players over there, so it'll just gauge as to how we need to prepare for district and how we need to prepare for playoffs.
Looks like a great season coming up.
Oh, yes.
We'll talk to some of your players after this.
Thank you.
Back with more.
Take a ride or ride a wave, build a castle or visit a castle, morning stroll or nighttime roll. That's as hard as it gets at South Padre Island. Voted Texas Travel Awards Destination of the Year. Plan your escape at sopadre.com.
At Harlingen CISD, college, career, community ready is more than just a saying. We've created 12 academies to provide students with access to fields of study that best fit their interests and passions. Within the 12 academies, there are 42 certifications that will aid students in getting a head start on a career upon graduation. Become HCISD proud and enroll today.
We are back here on the Luke Fruia Show. No nervousness needed here.
we're not nervous.
We're talking about a little volleyball here. We continue on the Brownsville Veterans side, and Michaela Lerma, Gracie Avila, and Cassie Garcia all joining me now. And first of all, a microphone in the hands of Michaela Lerma, and talk to me as a senior. Are you ready to roll?
Yes, and I want to say first, thank you for having us here and giving us the opportunity to talk to you. And so my senior year, I'm very excited, but especially because I get to play with 5 other girls that I've been playing with since I was little. So it's like our senior year, we're going big, and just having new girls come in and having a good time with them, and getting to just new girls, like getting to know new girls and being like up there, it's fun.
Have you guys, I'm going to keep the microphone in your hand just a moment. We'll pass it down the line. Have you guys talked as seniors a lot about, hey, this is our last go? This is it. We got to get something done now.
Yes, we have a lot of those conversations, and it's like when we first walked into the gym for like our first practice, it's like, oh my God, this is our last time like going in as seniors, and we're gonna see all these girls come in, new girls, and we have to have a fun senior year, so we're very excited.
Hand the microphone over, Cassie Garcia. You're a senior. Talk to me about what the discussions have been. You're having a lot of fun off camera. So talk to me about how fun it is as seniors and knowing each other and knowing what to expect.
Yes, it's going to be a really fun season. Like she said, like we've known each other since we were little, so it's a really good experience, like to play with each other senior year. And just really like go all out and make it a year to remember.
How different does it feel to be the one all those younger girls are looking up to as the leader?
It's honestly really different, because I remember going in as my freshman year and I was so like nervous. I was like, oh my God, those are the seniors. Like I was just really nervous. And now I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, I'm the senior like that those freshmen are now looking at. And it's really nice. Like it's a good like thing.
Okay, you can feel pressure from 2 places. 1, I'm that senior everyone's looking up to, or 2, I'm that senior someone wants my spot. What's the difference there? Because it happens.
Yeah, it does happen. Wait, I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question?
Where's more pressure coming?
Oh, the more pressure.
Are you looking over your shoulder for players that are getting better? They're like, whoa, I better step it up.
Yeah, it's definitely like the more pressure comes from like that the other girls are looking at me. So like I want to be like the role model and like what they want to be like when they get to senior year,
Let's hand it over to Gracie Avila and another senior. Where's the pressure come from more? Are you looking around the other players saying, man, she's trying to take my spot?
Yes and no, because obviously I see it more as a team effort. So if a player does take my spot, well, it's better for the team and it'll help them out more, and I'm just going to be somewhere, and that's how God wants it to be,
But at the same time, coach is saying, you're my leaders. You got to bring these other girls up. So talk to me about what that feeling is when suddenly they're looking at you saying, man, you've been here. Tell me what it's about.
Honestly, it's a great feeling. Like, I love the pressure. I feel like it gives you more adrenaline and more motivation to work harder. And I feel like every day we go and we push more because we see these other girls that are great, these incoming freshmen, these incoming girls. And it feels great to, like, have more motivation and, like, work harder, you know?
Is it easier to work harder knowing you've got 5 seniors that are right there all together that have been together since you were young?
Yes, it's because our connection is great. Like, our bond is amazing because we've been together for so long. And we've had that conversation about playing as seniors for, like, the longest time since the first year we started playing together, yeah.
So this is the year to finally say we're here. So let's hand the microphone right back down the line. We'll start with you, yeah. So talk to me about, when is the first memories that you have as far as playing together? How long ago does that go?
Well, in elementary, so there was a little rivalry between us two because we played in a little league team. Well, me and Gracie, and then Cassie played in a different team with one of our players, Paulina Ramirez. And so, like, we've always known each other where we're, like, against each other until I think it was 8th grade. She joined us at our middle school at Stillman, and we played together, and it was so fun.
So it went from I want to beat you, I want to beat you, I want to beat you.
Yes.
And finally, you're on my team.
So it's like, we just created that bond from there.
Who won the early games?
Her team. Yeah, we were always.
You were like, you're finally on my team because I know how good you are, right?
Yes.
All right, let's pass the microphone on down the line. How fun was it back then? As far as you obviously remember it so well.
Yes.
But when you finally all got together, what did that mean?
It was a really nice moment. Like, I remember my 7th grade year, I was at a different middle school, and then my 8th grade year, I joined them, like she said, and it was just a real nice feeling. Like, I went from, like, playing against each other to finally, like, having to work together and be a team,
So then you hand the microphone over. You went into your freshman year, sophomore year, even junior year. You're all together. And so what was the difference getting ready for this year compared to all those others?
How old we are, I guess. We've always had someone else to look up to. And like you said, the pressure's more, like, it's more competitive. And, like, the pressure, there's so much more pressure on us as seniors, and everyone else is looking up to us as to us looking up to everyone else. And, yeah, as seniors, we just all want to play good, play great, play hard,
I'm going to ask all 3 of you to answer this question. Do you look at the season as, man, we don't have much time left, or I've got all this time for my senior year and I want to enjoy it more? Where is it more so?
We look at it more as, like, we have all this time senior year, and we're going to play as hard as we can and enjoy all the time that we have left because it's not going to last forever, Yeah.
Got it. Same question, straight down the line.
If I look at it like,
are you looking at it like, man, the finish line's right there, I see it, or I'm finally my senior year, I'm going to enjoy every minute of it?
I think I'm a little scared, honestly. I'm scared. Like, I can't believe it's going to end. I still remember walking into the gym my freshman year, and I was like, wow. And I thought, like, the time was going to go by so slow, but it really, what people say, like, your high school years go by fast, it really does.
Yep. It's a valid question because it is an answer that athletes look at different ways. How do you look at it?
Well, senior year is definitely, like, it's crazy that it's here already. I give all glory to God, though, for giving me a good 3 years of volleyball and just having fun and building relationships. And it's so sad that it's already here. It's the last season, but I feel like we're going to go out with a bang and we're going to have fun and do very good.
If I had to guess, I would say you guys spent more time in the summer in the gym than you were out of the gym. Yeah. Am I right there?
Yes, you are correct.
Is that normal?
Yes, sir. It's very normal.
It really is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, sounds good. We'll look forward to seeing you guys in the games, and we'll be broadcasting your games.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Back with more after this. That's Brownsville Veterans.
Graduation time. Time to make some decisions. What's next? Can I afford to continue my education? What are my options? At Brownsville ISD Career and Technical Education, you can graduate from high school with a certificate and or license ready to go to work, debt-free. We have a wide range of programs for every student ranging from audiovisual, law enforcement, STEM robotics, electrical, welding, pharmacy, patient care tech, and many more to choose from. That's why Brownsville ISD is the best choice.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
See art or create it. On South Padre Island, that's as hard as it gets. Visit sopadre.com.
We are back here on the Luke Fruia Show, talking sports on a Wednesday. Yeah, we're in overtime period. We're usually gone and packed up and heading to a gym by now. But from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock each Wednesday, we're here this week. Let's go. We're into nearly the 4 o'clock hour. We're joined now, Ashley Martinez, and we're going to talk some Porter volleyball.
Yes, and you're saving the best for last, right? That's why.
That's what it is.
Okay, that's what it is. That's why we're a little bit late here. Our girls are in practice, so I'm kind of sad that they're not here. After seeing so many girls speak about their program, I would love for them to say some kind words about this. But you're going to get us next time.
We'll get you.
At our tournament. Okay, so my girls that are watching, they're going to interview you soon, right? We promise.
I promise.
Okay, we promise.
Guarantee. We will be at a practice soon, and we'll be at your scrimmages and your games. But talk to me about your team and the mix and what you're looking forward to this year.
So Brownsville Porter, it's been 25 years since we haven't made playoffs. So we're really trying to break that drought. So this is going to be a year to watch. So those of you that hopefully BIC gets our premium channel going. So please tune into our games and watch us, because this is a year that we are really going to break history. I believe in my girls. We have a great group of girls. We have 6 returning seniors. I have the best setter in the valley. You have to see her play. So I'm so excited for you guys to film her, because she is a phenom. She's amazing. And then the girls behind her, they're just so ready to get fed and to put the ball down the line, and we're just excited to see them make a run for playoffs this year.
Yeah, you're not talking just about a group of seniors that haven't made the playoffs. You're talking about a generation that haven't made the playoffs. So how important is that to your girls? Have they really embraced that to say we're going to do it?
Definitely. Lots of tears, lots of prayers, lots of team meetings that we have. We missed the playoffs by 1 game last year, so it was such a heartbreaker. But they want it. They want it really bad. And it starts with the off season. It starts with the girls getting more involved in volleyball outside of BISD. And Brownsville is behind on that. We really need more facilities. We need more club. We need more access to things to get our girls going that maybe at a better price, because up the valley, McAllen, Sherryland, they're so successful because they have these facilities that they participate in, right? That Venom League and all that. So anybody that's watching, if you want to invest in Brownsville, we're ready for you. We have the girls that want to participate locally. So I hope that we get to bring that here to the valley and that really help Brownsville out. That's what we need here.
Yeah, you as a coach were able to, in years past, tell your players, hey, we want to reach the playoffs. But you got within that 1 game, and so now it's like, remember what it was like to reach, stretch a little further. So do you think it's easier getting them ready, knowing that they understand what it's like, what it's going to be to finally be that team?
Yes, but man, to stay hungry all season long, that is a challenge. That is a challenge. We're like 1 step there. So yes, we see it. It's on our vision board. The girls believe in it. And then every single practice, it has to be that mentality that we're playing for those points. We're playing to get our foot in the door. So you're talking about lots of stressful situations that we put them in practice, a lot of communication, high intensity practice that we're having to get them used to that feeling of knocking on the door. That's not an easy feeling to get in there. It's not something easy to practice either. So yes, my girls, like I said, that reach for it, It's tough,
It's
but we're
tough.
going to do it.
Let's talk about the first scrimmage and who it's against and what you hope to accomplish there.
So we have a really good scrimmage set up on Friday. We have like a little round robin that we're having. PSJA Memorial's going to be there. We have Rio Grande City there. We have Frontier there. And I wish I could think of the other school that we're going to have out there, but it's going to be an awesome 3-game scrimmage. We're playing away. We're excited. And then we have a really cool 3rd annual alumni game for Porter. So any of you Porter alumni that want to come play, come on over, give me a call. We still need 2 more girls to complete a roster. So that'll be a fun. Alumni games are always a lot of fun.
When is that going to be?
On Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, come film us. We'll be there.
Well, they've got one at Rivera. You guys have one. But again, that's important for the camaraderie for other players from years past to come in and be able to talk to your girls as well. That helps. And then the first game next week is against who?
La Feria. We always have a really good game against them, and we beat them this past 2 years. So we're looking to continue the streak and getting a first win for our non-district game. So that's going to be good.
And the first tournament.
The first tournament, we're playing a PI tournament. We're supposed to go to San Antonio, but that didn't be able to work out. But Port Isabel, and we're looking to win that tournament. So we're looking to get some really good wins the start of the season, get that confidence going. So we start with a really strong preseason record, and hopefully that tells us that, hey, we can continue this streak of winning on into our district schedule.
How important is that to you as a coach that you get some early confidence for this team?
Super, especially girls that don't have a lot of experience playing outside of our district schedule. Super. These girls need to know, they need to feel that the success of winning. That is so important. Yes, we're gonna. These teams are not easy either, but it's very important for me to get those wins in. Definitely.
And when you're looking at it, I ask the other coaches. I can ask you the same thing: hitters, setters, defenders.
Oh
Who
my
sets
gosh.
the tone for this team?
So my setter, definitely my setter is, like I said, a phenom, and I'm so excited for her. And then the girls want to see my setter succeed. So my defense is constantly trying to feed her the best balls. There's so much respect that they have for each other. But when we do these games where we play defense versus offense, my defense are scrappy. They don't just because they're 4 feet, they don't let anything get past them. So those are always fun things. But yes, my setter and my defense, they'll send my offense running.
Setter able to see the court, the best setters that I've ever been experienced to be around have that peripheral vision that they see the other side of the court and know which direction they're setting as the ball is being passed. Is she to that level?
Yes, so my setter plays a lot of sand volleyball. So I'm hoping that comes to Brownsville. We have the island here. We get some kind of sand volleyball league going because sand helps these girls out so much. So yes, she has great vision on the court, great movement, and she's close to 6 feet tall too. So that's odd to see a setter that tall in the valley. So
it also has to help that your hitters, back row, front row, all have to be ready because at any given time they could be past the ball.
Oh yes, definitely. So Melanie Ortiz, watch out for her. She's gonna be like I said, a true, she's going to help us run for the playoffs, and I'm really excited for it. It's her senior year. I also have returning outside hitters that are awesome, 6 returning seniors. So it's going to be a great year. I'm so excited.
Mark it down. We'd like to be there for that game in which we say these words.
Yes.
Porter ends the 25-year streak, and they're in the playoffs.
Amen. Amen. Okay, thanks.
We'll be there. Coach, thanks for joining us. We'll be back with more after this.
Thank you.
When you study local at Texas Southmost College, you can choose from over 50 associate degree programs, certificates, and workforce training programs, all at the most affordable cost in the Rio Grande Valley. Transfer your TSC credits to a university or start a new career, like Kat Gomez, who graduated from TSC and is now patrolling the streets of Brownsville and serving her community. Register now at tsc.edu/register and study local at Texas Southmost College.
Back here at the Luke Fruia Show, we continue Meet Brownsville as we send an open invitation out across the board to all schools and all teams in Brownsville to show up and be a part of this show, and we do appreciate each and every one that has joined us thus far. Coach Uresti, Porter football. Let's talk a little bit about the Cowboys and what the season looks like for you.
Well, we graduated a big group of seniors last year, but we do bring in some experience. So I'm excited about what we're going to offer this upcoming season. We lose everybody knows Gunnar Williams. You know, it's a big loss for us. Multiple athlete, did a bunch for us, not just for football, for other sports. But for us specifically in football, he he was a dynamic player to say the least. So we lose a lot in him. Now we're entrusting our players this upcoming year to step in and fill in those roles. Instead of looking at one player, though, you have to concentrate on more than one now. So that's kind of what the interesting thing and the intriguing thing about this team is who's going to step up in these same shoes that we need to come in and put some points on the board.
Have the players embraced that to have a little extra competition, that knowing some positions are there?
Most definitely. I think they're embracing it in the sense that not in a bad way, but they're ready to move on, right? Everybody's asking me about Gunner, and Gunner's a great kid. Coach Williams was my offensive coordinator, but I think it's time for this new group of kids to come in and take the reins, man. And I think they're fired up about it. I think they're ready. They're excited for this new season. I think they want us to surprise some people. I think that was a thought process for some people. Stop Gunner, you stop Porter. And you can't say that anymore. So I'm just excited to see who's going to be stepping in those roles.
Anytime a coach is bringing in a team that has got a lot of new faces, then the tendency is, am I going to coach these players to my style, or is it a bigger adjustment for me as a coach to see what talent level they're at? Which is it for your team this year?
I think for me personally, I'm going to go back to calling the plays on the offensive side of the ball. It's a multiple offense, so it doesn't really matter what we have more of, whether it's a skill position or the offensive line or the quarterback. We are kind of clearing house with the skill position. Mm-hmm. That's where our seniors were. We're bringing 4 starting offensive linemen, so we're going to hang our head on the offensive line. And then we have 2 young men that are fighting for the position at quarterback. So right now we're not too sure who it's going to be. It's pretty even right now. I'm excited about these next 2 scrimmages to see how they grow and then who's ready to lead this team going forward.
No spring ball means that you had some extra workouts, but you really didn't get on the field. So how important is the first scrimmage? Who's it against? And how important is that very first one to you?
Yeah, we started practice on Monday, and just 3 days in, I'm already happy with what I'm seeing from the guys. We start next week. Our first scrimmage is against Pace, and then we follow up with Tino at St. Joe. So I'm happy about those scrimmages. We get some out front defenses, which is what we're going to see a lot when our schedule gets started. But we're excited about it. We're just ready to go. I think the kids are just tired of these hot summer days, and they're ready just to get playing Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And then your first game of the regular season?
We're going to start with La Gruya, with Coach Gonzalez and the Gruya Gators coming in town.
And that's a lot of excitement there. Again, a lot of new faces. I can't wait to see what you guys bring to the table.
Thanks very much, Joe.
Porter football. We'll be back with more after this.
Traigo 100 kilos de ropa, lo que se me antoja, dinero en el banco. Muchas me andan criticando, pues traigo carrazos que como le hago. Tengo aseguro del bueno, pronto y flexible y sale barato. Es mi corrido humilde, que no se te olvide que me ando ahorrando.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
Back here on the Luke Fruia Show, let's continue to talk some Porter football. Angel Guerrone, one of the seniors on the squad. At one time, I would be talking to you, and you'd have a lineman's number.
Yes,
that's not on your jersey anymore. Let's talk to me about the transition of going to one of those skill position teams.
Well, I was always where my team needed me. I knew maybe I wasn't supposed to be a lineman, but my team needed me there, and I did my best to help them.
How exciting is it now as a senior to put on one of those small numbers and to be a part of the playmakers?
I think it's pretty exciting, man. We're putting all our trust in God, man, and honestly, I think we have, besides me, there's more playmakers out there.
Coach, talk to me about how many guys left, and one thing you could focus on is, man, look at all the guys that are gone, but the other side of it is look at all the positions that's open. So how is the competition within your teammates?
Honestly, it's pretty rough, but it's pretty exciting because I think right after the season ended, you saw a lot of guys in the weight room like the day after. So it was like, wow, everyone wants to compete for a spot this year.
How many guys do you have stepping up that you can look around that are now saying, I want to be that guy? Because you need some leaders.
There's plenty. I mean, Aaron Palacios, our center, I mean, he was there day one. Like, he unfortunately got injured, but when the offseason started, he was like the first guy out there with me, putting in the work with a couple of other guys.
You guys as seniors, how different is it to you to suddenly have everyone looking at you like you're the old guy, you're the guy with the experience? How different is that for you?
It's an honor to lead this team, and I mean it's kind of personal because last year we were so close, man, and we started high, and then things went the bad way. But I think this year's more of a redemption year for us.
I was going to ask you, does that motivate you that we don't like how last year happened? We want our senior year to be a little different.
Definitely. We didn't like how it ended. And this year, actually, we got to play our district opponent, Valley View, at Sam's, and we're pretty excited to have them at our home this year.
Can't wait to get them there, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Angel Guerrone. We'll continue. We're in double overtime now. We usually go till 3 o'clock. We went beyond 4 o'clock, so welcome to double overtime in the Luke Fruia Coaches Show. We'll be back with more after this.
Our service is unmatched. Our commitment to our team and our community, relentless. Our products are innovative and exciting. Fruia, we're what's next now.
We are back here on the Luke Fruia Show here in Brownsville, Texas, and I said it was a Meet Brownsville, and I did send an open invitation out across the board to public, private, any school that had athletes competing in Brownsville this year. Welcome, open invitation, and now let's talk a little Brownsville Jubilee. Jenny Coronado going to talk some volleyball with us. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Let's talk about Jubilee volleyball and what the off season looked like for you, and more importantly, what this new season looks for.
Well, during the off-season, our main focus was that they stayed playing together. Last year, halfway through the season, we found this rhythm and we found this harmony that the girls worked really well together, and we didn't want them to lose that on the off-season. So the main focus was that they played together. They played the entire spring and summer, and now we're back this season with that same harmony and ready to take it to the next level from where we were last year.
How many girls are coming back from last year that you can look around and say, hey, glad to see you back?
Our entire roster's coming back.
That's not a bad thing to have as a coach.
No,
So what does that do as far as opening up things? Are you able to just broaden the scope of what you want to attack with?
Yes and no. We have really high expectations with this team, and so the girls that are coming back, they already know what to expect. We're able to open up a couple more spots and a couple more things for girls coming in to look for new skills and new attackers, new defenses that we can utilize. But in the sense, this team's got it, and they're ready to rock and roll this year.
So it's not necessarily looking around for players to take their roles. The roles are known.
Yes.
It's now refining and improving.
Exactly.
Big difference there.
Yep.
Well, talk to me about what the early part of your schedule looks like. When will we first see Jubilee on the court, and against who?
We have our first tri-tournament on Friday and then another one on Saturday. We're playing St. Joe and Valley View on Friday, and then Lopez, St. Joe, and Port Isabel on Saturday. We have a packed preseason, pretty much 2 games a week until district starts.
Is that at home or is that at St. Joe?
At St. Joe.
At St. Joe. That's Friday?
Friday.
And Saturday?
Saturday will be at Lopez.
Saturday, Lopez. Okay, well, we'll probably see you Friday.
Awesome.
We'll be broadcasting that. Again, any final words on the outlook? I know it's a lot of high hopes this year for your team.
Going into our new district last year, a lot of the coaches thought that we weren't going to perform the way we were because we are such a small school and perform the way that we did. But we pulled some upsets, and we shocked a couple of people and a lot of people. And so the expectation for this year is to do even more than shock. It's to dominate this entire year.
You won't sneak up on anybody this year. All right, Coach, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you so much.
Back with more after this.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
Back here on the Luke Fruia Show, we continue to talk a little Brownsville Jubilee volleyball. How about Esther Lara, a senior, now joining us? So, Esther, Coach tells me everybody's back. So what's it like for you as a senior coming back?
I think it's very exciting. I have really high hopes for this season. We are a lot of seniors, I think like 6 or 7 seniors coming back, and I'm just super excited, and I don't know, I'm just really excited for this season.
You know, one thing Coach said last year, you were able to beat some teams that maybe people didn't think you would beat, but you beat them.
Yes.
And so you're not going to be able to hide from anybody. What's how does that feel differently, knowing you're not going to sneak up on people? They know who you are. Does that make it different?
In a way, yes. It obviously makes us want to try way much harder and accomplish more and win more games. And I just find it more fun and exciting knowing that, like, what people are going to expect from us and our team.
Do you wake up each morning now still trying to believe that it's your senior year? Does it seem like it got here real fast?
Yes, extremely fast. I sometimes still don't believe it, but I feel like once I go back to school, it's going to hit me like right in the chest knowing that, like, wow, like I'm a senior.
You guys got competition on Friday, so
Yes.
I mean, not much time to get ready. What have you guys done in the off season as a team to get ready, to be ready for games like this on Friday?
Definitely work together, try to communicate, work with the girls, obviously new girls coming in, and we just want to be comfortable with each other and obviously have a lot of communication and just being comfortable with the team and playing together.
At Jubilee, when you're playing against other Brownsville schools, is there that bragging rights? You guys know each other.
Yes.
You guys know each other. So is it fun to be playing against girls that you know?
Yes, it's like very fun. I find it exciting also, and it's fun knowing that, like, you know them, and it's just really fun when you're on the court and, like, going against them. It's just really fun.
It's a lot funner when you're the one that
Yeah.
beats them. All right, well, have a fun year.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you very much.
Esther Lara with Brownsville Jubilee. Back with more after this.
And it went like.
Our service is unmatched. Our commitment to our team and our community, relentless. Our products are innovative and exciting. Fruia, we're what's next now.
Hello from Los Fresnos CISD, an A-rated Texas Education Agency district. A stands for Academic Excellence at Los Fresnos CISD, where pathways to secondary success are being built for students at the brand new Resaca Middle School campus. A stands for Academic Advancement at Los Fresnos High School, where the College Center provides a jump start on college and career readiness that includes advanced placement classes, dual enrollment options, CTE opportunities, and scholarship money. Los Fresnos CISD, an A-rated and 7-time post-secondary readiness distinction district.
We are back here on the Luke Fruia Show. I'm Joe Bowling with you. Thanks for joining us here in Brownsville, Texas at Luke Fruia Motors, home of Buick, GMC, and Cadillac. Talk a little Brownsville Jubilee. Yeah, we're going to talk football. They do play football in Jubilee. It's competitive, and it's more entertaining than you think. And guys are gearing up for a big season at Jubilee. We're joined by Sam Martinez, athletic director, head coach.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about Jubilee and football and what that means to your school's program.
Okay. Well, first off, I'd like to thank everybody here, man, in regards to giving us the opportunity to do this. We're a small charter school here in Brownsville, located in North Brownsville. A couple of years ago, my coaching staff and my administrative staff, we had kind of been thinking about having an opportunity for our young men to start off in the beginning of the year with something to do, right? And I come from playing football. A lot of my coaching staff did as well, played here for Brownsville. And you know what? We kind of got together and you know what? Let's try and get this together. So last year we were able to get in there and we were playing 6-man football. It's a fast game. You know, we got kids at positions that possibly wouldn't think that they'd be able to play receivers and so forth and whatnot, right? And we're out there and just having fun and getting the opportunity to get these kids in a competitive environment. And but, you know, we're blessed to have the opportunity. We had Corpus let us in. So a lot of our games are up north, right? We have no home games, especially this year. Last year we were able to have one. We were unfortunate this year to have that opportunity. So, but you know what? I feel blessed that we have a full schedule. We'll be up there. We'll be playing Benavides. We'll be up there in Corpus playing in Carnet Ward. We got Arlington Heights. We got Corpus Christi Badgers, Victoria Gators. We're going up to San Antonio and Austin as well. So we got a lot on our schedule this year.
Walk me through a 6-man game and what it entails and what are some of the schemes and strategies in 6-man football?
Well, it's like you said, it's all about the schemes and strategies, right? So I'm blessed to have the opportunity to work with my head coach. My offensive coordinator, right? Which again, I see him as one of the head coaches there, along with my side He's next to me all the way. It's a fast game. So you have your center, you have your 2 receivers. They can either come in and play on the line, right? And then you have your 3 in the backfield. Quarterback cannot run the ball. So there's no quarterback sneak, so forth, right? Has to be a handoff or a pass coming back in order for that individual to get the ball back to come running. So it takes a lot. It's a fast game, right? You're looking at an environment where you would traditionally looking at 120 yards, including the end zone on an 11-man game. You're looking at 80 yards here and then 40 yards sideline to sideline. And so once you get open, you get open. And the hits are harder because those are big open hit tackles that we get.
Talk about from the initial snap. The rush, what's allowed on I'm going to educate my fans that are out there who may not understand what 6-man football is all about and just how competitive it can be. So let's talk about, first of all, from the rush.
Okay.
What do you expect?
So on the defensive standpoint, you're looking on the rush. You may have an individual or a team that sets up a scheme where they have someone coming over the center, right, which is going to be possibly your linebacker, nose guard, or depending on where they have them stacked at, they could be your defensive end. So that's your primary look where we got to go for the quarterback that's looking at that guy first on which direction we're going. We're going left, we're going right, or we're going to pass, right? And then from there, obviously, the next section we're looking at if there's anybody coming from the outside. We got any outside backers that are going to be coming there. So we have individuals that are in the backfield. Traditionally, like we would have, like in an 11-man game, you have your quarterback, you have your running back, possibly your fullback in the back. So it could be offset as a wing. So the scheme's the way we have it set up, right? We go as an under center. We're a power team at times. We try to run a 50-50 game where also we're going to be going at you with a pass, right? So halfback passes are part of the game. There's a little trick plays. Let the kids have some fun with some reverses and so forth, right? So you get out in the open, it's going to be a high-scoring game.
This isn't like 7-on-7 football, in which you're looking like it, get the ball, take your time, look around, make a pass in 4 seconds or less. This is make a pass before someone gets you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, it's kind of like you'd talk about it as your traditional backyard game, right? Hey, let's go and get open, right? But it's a little bit more of you've got to be more strategic when it comes down to that, right? Yes, we do have our formations. We do have our set plays where we're going to be coming in, our down and distance, our time beaters where we're going to be going down to the clock, our 2-minute game. We're setting up as we're running a full scheme on a team. And obviously, it's the same thing. A lot of the teams that we do wind up playing, they have huddle. We're exchanging games, kind of looking at different opportunities. And you know what? The community for 6-man football has been very inviting. They've walked us through so much and given us the opportunity to learn. And also doing that, we also have had the opportunity to kind of work with a couple of other coaches, too, that are kind of getting in the game that are up north that we're working with as well.
Walk me through an educational perspective from fans who will say it's got to be more finesse. It's not as physical. Walk me through that.
Yeah, I would say and invite you to come see a game, right? That'd be number one.
We're going to broadcast a game. I want to guarantee you that, just so fans can see it.
No, yeah, I'd invite anybody to take a look at it, right? So, the best case scenario that what we've talked about is we got a couple of stuff that's on YouTube that's out there, right? You can take a look at that, or Texas 6, right? Anybody have that opportunity to take a look at Texas 6, and you'd kind of say on there, it's a hard-hitting game. You have 6 individuals on the field
full pads
versus full pads versus another 6 individuals, and everybody's going 100 miles an hour, right? Depending on the team that you're playing, you may have a team that you're focusing against that has 9 players, right? Last year we were fortunate enough, and we carried 25 with our kids, right?
Wow.
So when we got off the bus and they saw us with 25 kids, right? Mind you, 6 play at a time. Mm-hmm. Only looking at 6, right? So it's a little bit of an intimidating factor when you see that. But you have teams that have been around for a while and that are established. Those 9 players, right, can really put up a fight. You know what I mean? Because you're talking about you got to be in shape. It's a different type of game. It's a lot faster, right? I'm not going to say the hits are a lot harder, right? But I'd say they're of equal value, right? And back and forth on there with respectively the way that goes, right? But here you have to be thinking on your feet, like when you're playing the game, right? It's not going to be a slow down process, kind of going from play to play. So I challenge everybody to go out there, put that up there, take a look at it. Texas 6, you can kind of take a look and see what's on there, kind of get a little perspective of it. And again, at first when we started talking about it, I didn't know too much, right? But once you start getting into it, the kids love it. And you're out there full pads, toe-to-toe with anybody and everybody, right?
conditioning factor, how big is that? Because it perhaps could be even more so than 11-man football to be conditioned to go 80 yards up and down the field with just 6 guys.
Oh, yes. Okay. So when we're talking about conditioning-wise, it's of the utmost important, right? So we're looking at conditioning. So we factor in a lot of the stuff, and especially right now with this Texas heat that we're in right now, we're in our acclimation phase right now. We're still in that acclimation phase, and we take that obviously very serious. And just to kind of put that in perspective, right? And again, I say this with my humblest apologies and everything that they may want to say, right? But last year during our first game, unfortunately, we had an individual from our opposing team that wound up passing away.
Wow.
And I believe he was one of the first individuals in Texas that kind of that did happen. He went into cardiac arrest and so forth and whatnot. And that was, and again, there was a couple of other deciding factors that are in there, right? But, it's just we take that very serious. So do you have to be in shape? Absolutely. Right? Is safety more of a priority over than winning nowadays? I say it is. Safety is, right? So we do everything that we can. We are fortunate enough to have an indoor facility, right, with a little small turf that we got that's in there, and we're outside. So we're a back and forth team, inside, outside, kind of getting the kids ready, right? So it's very demanding, and that I am going to say it's very demanding.
Let me talk about opportunities, because from a small school with 6-man football, opportunities still exist. If a kid walking your hallway wants to say, I want to play college football, they can still find some eyes to take a look at what they do.
Absolutely. I would say 100%. There's a lot of opportunity for this. There's a lot of eyes that are out there, and athletes will be athletes, right? So we have individuals that are going to be playing for us now. Again, we're not too sure what the future holds, right? But can this game give you an opportunity to play at the next level? Absolutely. I know of there was one team that we did play against last year, which was, I believe, was Annapolis out of Corpus Christi. One of those individuals that were playing on there, one of the receivers wound up, he's playing at the next level right now as well. And
Great.
That's out of a 6-man team. Okay,
enough of the education. Let's break down your team. What do you have returning? How exciting are you to see the players that are coming back?
We're extremely excited, right? New year. New phase of the game, right? New adversities that we're going to have to be faced with, just like we would be with anything. We got 4 guys returning that were part of our, I would say, our all-around team. That came back. We graduated a heavy group, right? And a heavy group to some people may say, it might be 15, 20 guys that we graduated. No, we graduated, I believe it was 8 guys, right? And those 8 guys were straight-up seniors, had never really played a game in their life, right? So we got about 4 guys coming back that did get some playing time with us last year. And we got a lot of young kids that are stepping up into those roles, but that were there, right? That were there on both sides of the ball, right? And I say offense, defense, and special teams because they did everything. We got kids that are out there and they got a lot of heart. So it's gonna be a very good year. And I saw it as just like I told everybody last year. It's just, you know what, I'm not worried about what the end product is, right? Let's focus on what we got in front of us right now, right? Let's worry about that. Let's take one practice at a time, kind of move forward with what we got. And every day we're out there to get that 1% better. We do that every day, and at the end when it's time, I think that we're all going to be successful in some way or another.
Do your kids understand and take on the role of we're the road warriors? We're going to be. There's no home games for us. Do they embrace that?
You know what? Yes, they do. And you know what? The parents do as well. We are extremely, and I say I, and as in we're extremely blessed to have supportive parents. Our parents that we have that are with us there, they followed us to the end of the earth last year when we were playing. It's exciting to see when we're out there playing in the middle of nowhere. And sometimes I'm telling you, in the middle of nowhere, where you see there's bright lights and fields and so forth in the distance, right? And then we're playing on that opposite side, right? Which we're not there at some of the places that we played at last year. But that gave us the opportunity, and the parents and the support that you would see. You'd turn around and see all of the parents there, standing there, just like you'd see on a Friday Night Lights, right? Like in the movies, on those small towns, and they're using their lights and so forth to kind of pop up and light it up a little bit more. It's special to see. So as far as for being on the road, it's nothing towards us, for us. You know what I mean? So
may bring you closer together.
Absolutely. You know, the bus rides, the kids love them. They start getting their music going and having the time of their life there, and with the coaches and all of the families, and just kind of caravanning over and caravanning back. It's something special to see.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Coach Martinez, we look forward to seeing your team.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be back with more after this.
Ibanez Tortilleria, serving up freshly made in-house corn and flour tortillas since 1994. Try our delicious menudo, tasty barbacoa, fresh tamales, tacos, pareadas with juicy grilled chicken, and tender fajitas. On Mondays, buy one barbacoa taco and get one free if you mention that you're a Bloodhound fan. Located at 4726 Paredes Line Road, Brownsville, Texas. Open every day at 6:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. To order, contact 956-541-9594.
Hi, I'm Rolo Rodriguez, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation for building some of the finest agents in the industry. I help to manage that process from day one. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business, then I would like to show you how I can help.
My son Leo just graduated from high school, but also with his associate degree from Texas Southmost College at no cost at all. Not having that financial burden was so helpful to our family. That's 2 years we did not have to pay for.
All of my TSC credits transferred to UTRGV, and I am so grateful to go into my...
All right, talk to me about, when did you say, I'm going to play six-man football right out of the gate?
I don't know. I just really liked the sport football, and then they took away football from us when we had flag football. But and then when our new coaches came, they decided to put six-man football, and they decided to join.
How different is it from flag football to play this full contact six-man football?
It is pretty different. It's pretty different. Like the other one, like you just play flag, and then like if you jump, that's a flag. But six-man, it's a full contact sport. 80 yards, the whole thing.
Senior year, you got a year of experience. So what was it like last year? And more importantly, how different is it approaching this year?
It's very different. Like Coach said, like there's like a lot of people that left that was like really a part of the football team. But there's like new people coming up. Like I used to be the defense last year, but now I'm a QB. Like I came up a lot from this year.
That's Christian Garcia. Let's hand the microphone over to Jordan Alvarez. Jordan, before Christian gets the ball, you're going to give it to him. So tell me about what it's like being a senior and being a center on that squad.
I mean, it's really nothing different, honestly. I kind of just, feel very important to be part of the first man touching the ball in the play. And, handing it off is very, very big, too, because as soon as you mess up, it ruins the whole play. Doesn't have enough time to think.
How intense is full contact six-man football? Was it more than you expected?
Yeah, I think it was a lot more than I expected because there's some guys that are pretty fast off the line, and and then you got the other guys that aren't as fast off the line. So, it kind of just depends on who I'm up against, and that's really it.
Are there a lot of reads on your side, or do you got to hit the first guy that's coming through there, or what's your take once you snap that ball?
Usually I kind of just go after the first guy I see, or sometimes I'll just go in for a block and release and go for the next guy. But other than that, it's just first man I see and he's up.
There's not much time to rest in between a play on an 80-yard field with just six guys, right?
No, not really. I mean, but I only play one side of on the offense, so I don't really have to worry about, having little short breaks. But in between plays, it is kind of tough. Did
you play 11-man football ever in your from grade school through middle school ever? So it's always been the smaller stuff. And what's the difference to you between flag football and this full contact?
Well, in flag football, it was a little tougher because, like Christian said, any little hand movement or jumping, like you would get a flag for not, like they would say blocking the flag. And over here, it's a lot more physical, so you can use your body a lot more and go towards the opponent a lot faster.
Also, as a lineman, you get to engage. You get to have some contact. In flag football, that couldn't happen. You want to throw a block, they would stop the play there. But not the case. You're expected to throw a block. Makes a big difference.
Yes.
Let's hand the microphone on over to Jacob Zertuche. Well, if center gets the exchange right, quarterback gets the ball and reads it right, you get the ball as a running back. So talk to me about your role and what that means in six-man football to you.
Well, yeah, I just get the ball from Chris, and then I just follow my blocks. I just find the open pass, just read the blocks, find the open pocket.
What's six-man football to you? If someone, a lot of people that are going to be watching this, and when we broadcast it the first time, they're going to be like, six-man football. I'm thinking 7-on-7. I'm thinking flag football. No, sir. What difference would you tell them is the biggest difference in six-man football?
I think it's a lot more fast-paced. You don't really have that much players on the field, so it's not like you can have you have a guaranteed block. It's like you may have to work on your own against another guy or another two.
As a running back, as one of the skilled guys, do you rely a lot on your reads and your initial cuts? Because there's not many guys blocking for you, and you have to rely on some other stuff. So what do you work on as far as the reads?
Well, I just have to trust my block, because if my block is not there, I'm probably going to get tackled. So I just have to work on my blocks and, make sure that I have a block in an open pocket that I can go through.
Did you play any football at any level prior to six-man football?
I did play flag for, a couple of years, but that was it.
Is there even a comparison?
Yes.
What's the biggest difference to you?
Well, for when you get hit, flag football, you wouldn't just flip a flag. And then like Jordan said, just any little movement, they would stop the game right there. It's a flag. So it's a lot different.
How important was it? I'm going to ask you to answer the question and hand the microphone right down. How important was it to you guys that the school opened up football to compete during this time of the year when all the other schools, the big schools, have got their football going on? Jubilee now says, hey, we can play football. How important was that to you?
Well, to me, it was a big thing, because I had always wanted to, play football in my high school years. And then I talked to Coach Martinez about it, and then one day we were just walking, he told me, hey, we're going to have football. So I was like, oh, well, that's my shot, So now, 2 years later, here, playing football.
Hand the mic right down the line.
Well, to me, it was very important because all my older brothers played high school football, contact football, but 11-man. So, I saw it as a very big, welcoming kind of, opening the new doors for me to be able to play something that I've been wanting to play,
For me, it was just for to have a brotherhood that got your back and all that.
Opportunities exist at small schools for kids to have big dreams. This is a proof in the pudding right here, Brownsville Jubilee. They'll be participating in six-man football, and we're excited to see what they do. I encourage you fans to keep track the first time. Maybe in Benavides, we may go a little further up the line, but certainly no strangers to traveling as Rio Sports Live. Guys, thanks for joining me. Great luck on this season, and enjoy your senior year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more after this.
Sunny days or starry nights. Lay back or splash down. Brunch, lunch, or late night munch. That's as hard as it gets at South Padre Island. Voted Texas Travel Awards Destination of the Year. Plan your escape at sopadre.com.
Welcome back here to the Luke Fruia Show as we wrap this thing up. Andre Cornejo is now with me. He's one of the coordinators with Brownsville Jubilee. And this, we talked to the players. We talked to a coach. Talk to me about the excitement, Jubilee having six-man football once again.
Thank you for having me first off. The excitement, right, is the opportunity that these kids have to play, right? Just like every other school in Brownsville, now they have a choice and opportunity, like I said, to play this game and build the relationships. So the excitement is there. The practices, the grind, the hard work, the commitment, and just taking it one day at a time, more importantly, one practice at a time.
This team comprised of a lot of guys that have got experience. So let's break down the team first. As a coordinator, scheming up some plays for this, how better is it for you as a coach to say, I know what you can do, what you can do, let's run this play?
Oh, absolutely, right? Going into the game planning of it, right? You start thinking about formations, recognitions, keys, indicators, right? Twins, left, splits, alignment, keys, techniques. It's the same principles of 11-man football, but in 6-man sense, right? The spacing's a little bit different, but the plays and having an advantage of who's returning and who's not. Understanding that most of our kids play both ways. It's a guaranteed fact. Most of them are going to play both ways. If not, it's 3 phases, which is special teams included. But knowing that, we have maybe 4 or 5 players on defense that have playing experience and 2 or 3 on offense that have some playing experience. So that's a good thing.
Normally, when you're talking about reducing the number of participants in the sport of football, the speed factor plays a magnified role. And in many cases, it's get to the edge quickest. Is that the case in 6-man football?
Yes and no. You can't coach speed, right? Speed kills. So having that is an asset, but in the same sense, having some size will also help ground and pound down the middle. So it's a double-edged sword in a sense, but it definitely helps offensively and defensively. We'll not fight against that. And we have some speed on both sides of the ball this year.
Jubilee can go methodic football and use some clock and move the ball up the field. How does that help you wear down teams? Because Coach talked about it. You know, you're going up against some teams that's got 8, 9 guys. Do you use that to an advantage to, hey, let's pound them a little bit, let's wear them down?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I was talking about with the coaches during this past 2 weeks, where grounding and pounding, right, looking at the clock, phases of the game. If we have 4 minutes left and we're on offense and we know that other team has 2 timeouts left, let's get a few yards. I'm not sure if you knew this. It's 1st and 15.
Okay.
First downs are 15 yards, right? So we got to utilize the game clock, kill some time. Same thing, there's a 10-second indicator, a 5-second indicator. We call a timeout right before there's a penalty on offense, and we chew up the clock. So it's utilizing the coaching aspect rather and merging the two as far as the kids and the coaching that we have to give a good product to the fans.
How do you see it as a coach when talking to players who, you can have realistic conversations with them that, hey, do you want to play college football? You can use this platform to get there.
And that's what it's all about. You said the key word there, realistic, right? So being realistic, it's hard to do it, but the fact is that they have an opportunity not only playing 6-man football at our school, but then they have basketball, track, cross country, soccer, and golf as well, and now we offer tennis. So it's a matter of them just being willing to play anything. That's what the next level wants, is an athlete rather than an individualized sport.
So it's big to your school.
It is very big. It helps out with the recruitment, retention, kids wanting to stay now, maybe some kids wanting to come because we do offer 6-man football.
How eager are these kids to play? Many of them have never played football before, especially contact football. And here they come rolling out in droves. How important is that to you?
What it is, right, is I want to thank God, right, for what he's doing in us, with us, and through us, right? And it's about building these kids individually, right, to want to play the game. And they've never played it, like you said. It's really teaching them from the basis, hey, this is what it's all about. It's not about winning and losing games, right? We're trying to transform lives, right, and make them young men, because when they go out in the world, as we know, there's adversity we're going to face. Winning and losing in the game is just for fun. You know, what are we learning is the process. Is we're teaching them to become a young man, ultimately.
Appreciate the visit.
Yes, sir.
We'll take a look at Brownsville Jubilee 6-man football. Back with our wrap-up after this.
Hija, tomorrow's your quinceañera. I need you to call your padrinos and tell them thank you for the salon, the tamales, the dress, el DJ.
Ay, Ama, you called them. I didn't even want a quinceañera in the first place. I would have preferred to have gone to Paris instead.
I will, fine. I'm gonna give you your surprise gift early.
Huh?
Guess what? You're going to Paris.
How?
Well, I've been saving mucho dinero all year in insurance thanks to Pronto Insurance.
Let's just skip the quinceañera and go straight to Paris.
Call your padrinos right now.
Okay.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
We live here. We work here. We love it here. Look for your motors in Brownsville, Texas. We're here for you.
gives you a fitting way to end this with a commercial from Luke Fruia Motors. I'm Joe Bowling with you. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Talking Sports on a Wednesday here from Luke Fruia Motors, home of our Wednesday show from usually 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And next week, who knows? This week was Meet Brownsville. Who knows who we'll meet next week? But I do appreciate each and every one of the coaches and schools that participated in today's show. It makes it better. It also is entertaining for the fans and informative for the fans out there who want to know about Pace Volleyball or Porter Volleyball or Hannah Football or Brownsville Veterans or Jubilee. So we do appreciate each of the coaches that tuned in. Our appreciation again is to Luke Fruia Motors, who assist us in broadcasting our games. If it weren't for the likes of Luke Fruia Motors, for Pronto Insurance, for South Padre Island, for some of the school districts that you see advertising within our broadcast, we wouldn't be able to do what we do because it's free. We broadcast all of our games free. The platform's free. No charge to schools to broadcast their games. No charge for fans to watch them ever. And that's as a result because of the advertising that we get. So if you have any businesses out there that want to be a part of this, be sure you reach out to me. You school districts that are out there that want your own channel, we have expanded the Rio Sports Live network beyond belief. With this is Rio Sports Live 1. We have 2. We have RSL 3. But we also have school channels, such as Brownsville St. Joseph, which was our inaugural school channel that came on board last year, 24/7, all Bloodhounds, all day, all sports, 24/7, 365 days a year. MMA came on board. Harlingen South, Pioneer, Sherryland, all have their own channels now on the Rio Sports Live Network, as does TSC College, and I'm meeting with other school districts in the very near future. If you have someone that is part of a school district that wants to have their own channel, there are ways we can get that done, and we can showcase your athletes and your school district at the same time by being a part of the Rio Sports Live Network. It's going to do it for our broadcast. My thanks to DeMarcus, for Rudy, for Calvin, who all stuck around and helped spin the wheels and dial this one up. We went into, well, you could say triple overtime on this show. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, I'm Joe Bowling for Rio Sports Live. So long.
Just graduated from